to the extent of some 240 million pounds. What fools they are. How ignorant for them to think that you believe these stupid lies. Open your eyes and look around you. See for yourself. See the splendid new Tema Harbor. See the mighty water dam. See the fine roads which we have built under the leadership of the Convention People's Party and its government. See the schools, the colleges and the universities. See the clinics, hospitals, health centers and the facilities which we have created. See the factories which are already springing up. These are no debts. These are not debts. They are investments in our future as an independent nation. These are the physical guarantees of the bright new future which I have promised you and I have been working for. Together, we can put our Ghana firmly and squarely on it. Fellow countrymen, my heart is heavy as I witness the damage which this clique of neo-colonialist conspirators are doing to our country. At the bidding of their overseas neo-colonialist masters, they are dismantling the work of 50 years. They are telling you that Ghana is bankrupt. They are telling you that our country is in debt to the extent of some 240 million pounds. What fools they are. How ignorant for them to think that you believe these stupid lies. Open your eyes and look around you. See for yourself. See the splendid new Tema Harbor. See the mighty water dam. See the fine roads which we have built under the leadership of the Convention People's Party and its government. See the schools, the colleges and the universities. See the clinics, hospitals, health centers and the facilities which we have created. See the factories which are already springing up. These are no debts. These are not debts. They are investments in our future as an independent nation. These are the physical guarantees of the bright new future which I have promised you and I have been working for. Together, we can put our Ghana firmly and squarely on its own feet. Together, we can create the things we need for ourselves instead of going cap in hand for charity handouts from foreign powers whose only wish is to exploit us and make us vassals to their interests. I know these are hard and trying days for you. I have never tried to conceal from you that real independence, that is to say economic independence, does not come without hard struggle and sacrifice. Unlike the cheats and deceivers, the liars and traitors who are now trying to lord it over you, I have never promised you any easy road. I have respected your good sense, your capacity for work, your pride in yourselves, and your sense of national dignity. Why do you think these traitors, these agents and lackeys of colonialism and of international intrigue to destroy the independence of Ghana, chose this moment to perform their dastardly act? I will tell you, less than 1 month before they struck to destroy all our hard work, we had inaugurated the first electricity from the water dam. Only 3 days before this treachery, we had signed a new agreement to irrigate the mighty Accra Plains. At last, we were on the threshold of a great new victory. We had in 1957 won our political independence after years of struggle. Now in 1966, we were at the threshold of winning our economic independence. The same people who tried to sabotage our winning of political independence 9 years ago have now struck to sabotage our economic independence and are systematically dismantling our socialist gains and achievements. Before the traitors and the rebellious National Liberation Council tried to usurp power during my absence from Ghana, Ghana was a haven to which the oppressed from all parts of Africa could come to carry on their struggle. It was a haven for freedom fighters, for independence and against colonialism. The name of Ghana was revered all over the African continent as a staunch friend of the oppressed. African brothers from South Africa, from Rhodesia, from Mozambique and Angola, from the so-called Portuguese Guinea and the Cape Verde Islands and other oppressed colonial areas were given hospitality amongst us. Do you think that this is something of which we needed to be ashamed? Not at all. On the contrary, it was something of which we should be justly proud. Haven't we proclaimed that the independence of Ghana is meaningless until it is linked up with the total liberation of Africa? Now, hundreds of these brave freedom fighters who came to our country trusting us to look after them and help them in their struggle against colonial oppression, and believing as we do that Africa and the struggle for freedom is indivisible. These brave men and women have been sent back, bag and baggage, by this traitorous clique to the countries from which they had fled to seek refuge, inspiration and protection in Ghana. Countrymen, a new phase of the African Revolution has been reached. This revolution must overcome and triumph over imperialism, racialism and neocolonialism. It must finally usher in the total emancipation and the political unification of our continent. Africa must be free. Africa must be united. Fellow countrymen, my heart is heavy as I witness the damage which this...
What are we waiting for? What are we looking for, Africa? Are we looking for mere charters conceived in the light of the United Nations example? A type of United Nations organization whose decisions are framed on the basis of resolutions that in our experience have sometimes been ignored by member states, where groupings are formed and pressure developed in accordance with the interests of the groups concerned? Or is it intended that Africa should be turned into a loose organization of states on the model of the organization of the American states, in which the weaker states within it can be at the mercy of the stronger or more powerful ones politically and economically, and all at the mercy of some powerful outside nation or group of nations? Your Excellencies, is this the kind of association we want for ourselves? In the United Africa we all speak of with such feeling and emotion? Your Excellencies, permit me to ask, is this the kind of framework we desire for a united Africa? An arrangement which in future would permit Ghana or Nigeria or the Sudan or Liberia or Egypt or Ethiopia, for example, to use pressure with either superior economic or political influence gives to decide the flow and direction of trade, say from Burundi or Togo or Nyasaland to Mozambique and Madagascar. We all want a united Africa. United not only in our concept of what unity connotes, but united in our common desire to move forward together in dealing with all the problems that can best be solved only on a continental basis. Sir, when the first Congress of the United States met many years ago at Philadelphia, one of the delegates sounded the first chord of unity by declaring that they had met in a state of nature. In other words, they were not in Philadelphia as Virginians or Pennsylvanians, but simply as Americans. This reference to themselves as Americans was in those days a new and strange experience. But may I dare to assert, equally on this occasion, Your Excellencies, that we meet here today not as Ghanaians, Guineans, Egyptians, Algerians, Moroccans, Malians, Liberians, Congolese, or Nigerians, but as Africans. Africans united in our resolve to remain here until we have agreed on the basic principles of a new compact of unity among ourselves, which guarantees for us and our future a new arrangement for continental government. If we succeed in establishing a new set of principles as the basis of a new charter or statute for the establishment of a continental unit of Africa and the creation of social and political progress for our people, then, in my view, this conference should mark the end of our various groupings and regional blocks. But if we fail and let this grand and historic opportunity slip by, then we shall give way to greater dissension and division among us, for which the people, the masses of the people of Africa, will never forgive us. And the popular and progressive forces and movements within Africa will condemn us, surely. I'm sure, therefore, that we shall not fail them. Your Excellencies, I have spoken at length because it is necessary for us all to explain not only to one another present here, but also to our people who have instructed us the fate and destiny of the African continent. We must therefore not leave this place until we have set up an effective machinery for achieving African unity. To this end, I now propose for your consideration the following. As a step, Your Excellencies, a declaration of principles uniting and binding us together, and to which we must all faithfully and loyally adhere, and laying the foundation of unity should be set down. And there should also be a formal declaration that all the independent African states here and now agree to the establishment of a Union of African States. A second, an urgent step for the realization of the unification of Africa. An All-Africa Committee of Foreign Ministers be set up now, and that before we rise from this conference, a date should be fixed for them to meet. This committee should establish, on behalf of the heads of our governments, a permanent body of officials and experts to work out a machinery for the Union Government of Africa. This body of officials and experts should be made up of one or two of the best brains from each of the independent African states. The various charters of the existing groupings and other relevant documents could also be submitted to these official experts, working under the hegemony of a committee of the foreign ministers. And a presidium consisting of the heads of government of the independent African states should be called upon to meet and adopt a constitution and other recommendations which will launch the government of Africa. We must also decide on a location where this body of officials and experts will work as the new headquarters or capital of our union government. Some central place in Africa might be the fairest suggestion. From my view, either at Bangui in the Central African Republic or in Leopoldville in the Congo. All the officials that will go there, and we shall support their work. My colleagues may have other proposals. The Committee of Foreign Ministers, officials and experts should be empowered, because we have no time, to establish, 1, a commission to frame a constitution for the Union Government of African States. 2, a commission to work out a continent-wide plan for the united or common economic and industrial program for Africa. This plan should include for setting up a common market for Africa, an African currency, African monetary zone, an African central bank, a continental communication system. 3rd, a commission to draw up details for common foreign policy and diplomacy. A commission to produce plans for a common system of defense. A commission to make proposals for a common African citizenship. These commissions will report to the Committee of Foreign Ministers, who should in turn submit within 6 months of the conference their recommendation to the Presidium. The Presidium meeting in conference at the Union headquarters, whether it's at Bangui or Leopoldville, will consider and approve the recommendations of the Committee of Foreign Ministers in order to provide funds immediately for the committee of the permanent officials and experts of the headquarters of the Union. I suggest that a special committee be set up now to work out a budget for this, Your Excellencies. With these steps, I submit we shall be irrevocably committed to the road which will bring us to a Union Government of Africa. Only a united Africa with central political direction can successfully give effective material and moral support to our freedom fighters in Southern Rhodesia, Angola, Mozambique, Southwest Africa, Bechuanaland, Swaziland, Basutoland, Portuguese Guinea, etc., and of course South Africa. All Africa must be liberated now. It is therefore imperative for us, here and now, to establish a liberation bureau for African freedom fighters. The main object of this bureau, to which all governments should subscribe, should be to accelerate emancipation of the rest of Africa, still under colonial and racialist domination and oppression. It should be our joint responsibility to finance and support this bureau. On their successful attainment of independence, these territories will automatically join our Union of African States and thus strengthen the fabric of Mother Africa. It's the only hope for them. Otherwise, when they become independent, where are they going? We shall live here, having laid the foundation of our unity. Your Excellencies, nothing could be more fitting than that the unification of Africa should be born on the soil of a state which stood for centuries as a symbol of African independence. Let us return to our people of Africa, not with empty hands and with high-sounding resolutions, but with the firm hope and assurance that at long last, African unity has become a reality. What brought all of you here? We shall thus begin the triumphant march to the kingdom of the African personality and to a continent of prosperity and progress, of equality and justice, and of work and happiness. This shall be our victory. Victory within a continental government of a Union of African States. This victory would give our voice greater force in world affairs and enable us to throw our weight more forcibly on the side of peace. the world need peace in which the greatest advantage can be taken to the benefits of science and technology. Many of the world's present ills are to be found in the insecurity and fear engendered by the threat of nuclear war. Especially, do we, the new nations, need peace in order to make our way into a life of economic and social well-being amid an atmosphere of insecurity and instability that will promote moral, cultural, and spiritual fulfillment. If we in Africa can achieve this example of a continent knit together in common policy and common purpose, we shall have made the finest possible contribution to that peace for which all men and women thirst today, and which will lift once and forever the deepening shadow of global destruction from mankind. Ethiopia shall stretch forth her hands unto God. Africa must unite. Fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Accra and to this conference of African freedom fighters and supporters of the growing movement for Africa's liberation and unity. It is good for our cause to have a periodic meeting of this kind to examine our position in the great struggle to rid Africa completely and forever of imperialism and its handmaidens, colonialism and neocolonialism. Africa is rich and not poor. As the great wealth that has been taken out of our continent over 5 centuries of spoliation and extortion very well proves. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth: gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals. Our essential agricultural produce have all been drained away by colonialist imperialism. Africa is far from being poor. It is Africans who are poor, not Africa. And they are poor because of the uncounted profit that has been made out of the exploitation of their labor and their lands. If we are being baited to enter a European community, we must have something that community needs, and needs badly, when it pretends to offer a bonus by way of aid. When Greeks come bearing grapes, should we not look them well in the mouth, if I may mix my metaphor? But I'm sure you get my meaning. I raise this point so that it will stay in your minds when you may be tempted by the seductive promises of new colonialism to forget the real character of colonialist imperialism and be persuaded away from your own true interests and those of Africa. For fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Accra and to this Conference of African Freedom Fighters and supporters of the growing movement for Africa's liberation and unity. It is good for our cause to have a periodic meeting of this kind to examine our position in the great struggle to rid Africa completely and forever of imperialism and its handmaidens, colonialism and neocolonialism. Africa is rich and not poor. As the great wealth that has been taken out of our continent over 5 centuries of spoliation and extortion very well proves. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth: gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals. Our essential agricultural produce have all been drained away by colonialist imperialism. Africa is far from being poor. It is Africans who are poor, not Africa. And they are poor because of the uncounted profit that has been made out of the exploitation of their labor and their lands. If we are being baited to enter a European community, we must have something that community needs, and needs badly, when it pretends to offer a bonus by way of aid. When Greeks come bearing grapes, should we not look them well in the mouth, if I may mix my metaphor? But I'm sure you get my meaning. I raise this point so that it will stay in your minds when you may be tempted by the seductive promises of new colonialism to forget the real character of colonialist imperialism and be persuaded away from your own true interests and those of Africa. For today, we must each see ourselves as part of Africa in order that we may face colonialist imperialism and its new form, neocolonialism, on a continent-wide front. First, the attainment of freedom and independence. Secondly, the consolidation of that freedom and independence. Thirdly, the creation of unity and community between the free African states. Fourth, the economic and social reconstruction of Africa. This requires some plain speaking. And for the sake of Africa, let us speak plainly. As I see it, our greatest danger stems from disunity and the inability to see that the realization of our hopes and aspirations, the realization of our objective of total African independence, and of our future progress and prosperity is inextricably bound up with the necessity to unify our policy and actions in connection with the continued struggle for independence and the greater task of economic and social reconstruction beyond it. We must therefore face the issue of African unity now, for only unity will make the artificial boundaries and regional demarcations imposed by colonialism obsolete and superfluous. African unity will thus provide an effective remedy for border disputes and internecine troubles. In a united Africa, there could be no frontier claims between Ethiopia and Somalia, or between Zanzibar and Kenya, Guinea or Liberia, or between Ghana, Togoland, and the Ivory Coast. Because we would regard ourselves as one great
continental family of nations. Some of the leaders, it must be confessed, do not see the struggle of their brother Africans as part of their own struggle. Even if they did, they would not be free to express their solidarity. These rifts are consciously created by the imperialists between the Africans, where they can sit back and watch with sly satisfaction, as well as contempt for those who fail to see how they are being used against Africa's best interests. Regrettably, those states include some who were among the freedom fighters of yesterday and who haven't won their independence, are willing to drop it for some token aid, and thereby deny to those still struggling for freedom even their moral support. Here is a phenomenon against which all African freedom fighters must be on their guard and resist to the utmost. Even though I appreciate the difficulties facing us, I must admit, I find it strange to watch some of us returning willingly to the colonialist fold. This time, they don't even have the excuse of being forced to subject themselves to foreign domination. It makes one wonder, why so much effort and sacrifice and so many lives were given up to the achievement of independence in the first place, if it can only be so quickly and easily surrendered. We must begin to build immediately our own continental common market. For it is easy for anyone who studies the Common Market Organization closely to realize that the common market is aimed at harnessing the African countries to satisfy the profit lust of the imperialist bloc and to prevent us from following an independent neutralist policy. It is easy to see that the imperialists and the colonialists are determined to retain the African countries in the position of suppliers of cheap raw materials. If we do not resist this threat, and if we throw in our lot with the common market, we shall doom the economy of Africa to a state of perpetual subjection to the economy of Western Europe. This will, of course, hinder the industrialization of our young African states. It is impossible to think of economic development and national independence without possessing an unfettered capacity for maintaining a strong industrial power. The activities of the common market are therefore fraught with dangerous political and economic consequences for the independent African states. The organization constitutes an attempt to replace the old system of colonial exploitation by a new system of collective colonialism, which will be stronger and more dangerous than the old evils we are striving to liquidate from our continent. This is another reason why we should come together in a unified African economic plan, which, operating on a continental scale, can make a solid attack on the imperialist domination in Africa. We should, without delay, aim at the creation of a joint African military command. There is little wisdom in our present separate effort to build up and maintain defense forces, which, in any case, would be ineffective in a major world conflict. If we examine this problem realistically, we would ask, which single African state could protect itself against an imperialist aggressor? And how much more difficult this would be when some states are allowing the imperialists to maintain bases on their territories. I have already referred to the military forces which South Africa is raising and the danger it poses for the new African states and the struggle of those still in chains. Only our unity can provide us with anything like adequate protection. Those problems can best be met within a unified Africa. And it should be possible in the higher reaches of our endeavor to devise a constitutional structure which will secure the objectives I have outlined and yet preserve the sovereignty of each of the countries joining the Union. Countries within the Union will naturally maintain their own constitutions, continue to use their own national emblems and national anthems and other symbols and paraphernalia of sovereignty. Regional associations and territorial groupings can only be other forms of balkanization unless they are conceived within the framework of a continental union. There are existing models which we can modify or adapt to our pattern. The United States of America, the Soviet Union, India and China have proved the efficacy of unions embracing large stretches of land and population. Long live African freedom fighters. Long live African independence. Long live your struggle. And long live African unity.
And share this video with friends and family to support the channel.
Fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Accra.
Okoye is here, of course, he's doing his best. Sanso Anna Kwajun Krumantia fly on Facebook. Minia Dr. K. I also send you our bonus teaching items and BC. Thank you, bro, for all the support you're given. Na yena abusuanso ase na yema mwakwaba. I'm sure that as usual BBI fine and Pombo call BBI fine. So okay, so what we'll do now is that Matisse, a lot of people are having challenges with one meters, most of them prepaid meters. Scanner running since senior woman say Nkania won't use you, and maybe Kwame at a good time you be open phone lines now Ghana 4 and Swin Trauma Kakra Ubia how, and that is what we stand for as a show. Say Yabeboa na Wamonso and Hobertom. Now David Semepon Nouveau Ewaha also good afternoon to watching you from Agbobolo Shimake. Thank you. Anthony Mensah, I see you. Also Anthony Mensah is here. Nana, when are we demonstrating for the good cause of Operation Recover Our Loot? Still, Akpalu is walking free. Allah. Was it the wound to me Exim Bank case is still not in court? Abbas Rimpong, brah. Was it good afternoon, sir? Watching you live from Broadcasting Kaswa Road, Obed Dennis Katesku. No, I think the name is Kacheku rather. Yes. So the name is Obed Dennis Kacheku. Was a welcome from Tema. Joseph Dolagbenu and so joining and he sends hi. But it's very important that you be phone lines at what you're going through our office. I mean meters it be musa one challenges and all the end the same. Say it be a credit now Toguswa Emma. And I say auto credit na light no ama yen credit all back. Who's that? Yeah, use app auto light no. Say auto light no na say anya juma and a networking to scan and qua not yet to wallet no more. It just say ECG accredited. There are some people who are saying that omutimi etua yet to wallet mu but credit be my credit not in terms of light, but since you can go back to the wallet because then light and also water. I don't know if that is your case. And I say, okay, senior say, Osha Senia, o talk in Kania last week, and yes, Uncle Sansis here, and TAB auto say 300 Ghana cedis. And Yema, we used to know, match here. I mean, a TV in the fridge bakubi, but Ubehuna in Kania and Wasa. And I say, Abia, oh, Honomono. Debia umita no ewo challenge enti affect you a more consistent light. These are things we want to know. And the reason why say Jume is because the energy ministry Honorable John Jenapo is a fantastic minister of state, one of the finest, one of the most hardworking ministers of John Dramani Mahama. He's been able to commit himself my light na gina so enti yebese Ministry of Energy etie course ya yebebie na by extension the Electricity Company of Ghana ECG monsumutie na bebia or how ni free ban. You know, we are just doing this clustering na, you know, bit and pieces yemfen two books so na yanku yenim. Remy Aloku says good afternoon Nana Otu Dako, good job for Mother Ghana, God bless you. I'm listening, thank you. My sister Susie audit service uti empa ene yechiao. Of course we say good afternoon Mr. Host. Hey Dinah baby abako, thank you so much for the message. So certainly we are flying live on Facebook Accra 100.5 FM, but all join here. Na also far wa join to the bra na yankin kama baby ubutu tie no yeni beje ho pa senior die na across all the filling stations yetwam crusade chamo lorry parks ahodo me lorry stations, taxi ranks, passengers, trotro drivers, you know, taxi drivers, boats, Uber, Yango, Shaxi, taxi. Baby bia ute free bia. Yadama say those of you listening from your offices, anyways, there were some guys, you know, kakra gukrem otikwankweni ase. Your nom say fa adwene. Yenchia because chale obianto de tamo obi okrum how. Ana obianto radio mobia tese kasa fidie fruma no ne openo chimko stations doors ntie dro wie sei na nkrofo tie na nka me hwen. Chale yenchia mo. Nyanso munim ne yenim kota. To obi a wotie ye bia you will be because of you. See, and no be friend. It's because of you. Because I went here, I baller cry. Yadamasia brew. Yadamasia couldn't talk. Come, Yami Alliance, this is here now. Very well. 0302, and then I said, Preconam. 0302 20 80 90. I mean, I'll buy Papa Ba first and Kameka 20. He's here 20. 0302 20 80 90. Unti as your team to free Ghana. First caller. Hello?
Nana Otu Dako.
More fire.
Nana, original Tantana, Numbapu, captain.
Original Tantana.
Nana Otu Dako.
Original Tantana.
Nana.
Original.
And a real mania quite a cracky with the power. Fatemi. Yabi Nina, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa. Or no, and I guess you. Galamsey since your master MPP abreso.
Sure.
What ne yadi nyina Kenelboa. Kakra me can say. Kenelboa yes you only soldiers for a fight against Galamsey. That's what munia kene akadio.
Omni akadie.
Womunia kadie. Galamsey force and say TV so police phobic or baby operation ma Galamsey for komu jitu ne kuomo. So yeah. Empty Galamsey for the near day. Enti yesre ye papa John Dramani Mahama. Ena ya de nyina to force yesre mo. Eniema biara Kenelboa hia. Se ode be fight Galamsey na yesu na ni aten yesre mo. Ebi te say etuo. Ebi te say life jacket. Ebi te say you can say boat here won't you say. Ebi te say pickers. Yesre Mahama. Mon fama no na papa ya wa de so so be fight Galamsey ni e ho atoye no. On fight mayen. Afi Eric Opoku. Ono na ma aduane eba. Ono so Yakupon hira ne pa. Ne mom kakra me to ase se. Wonim se MPP for omo kofa ye ka ne se PDS bagigi sika. Anso omo and almost for meters by Nana meters ni Janiama. Certain Yobetobia wow. It's yet send your woka ye papa energy minister. Woman in Ankam no more no mun change ya de man yesa Ghana yen ye ni kama for original Tantana. Kakra me kan se minuanum je me kia obi a nemom Moses meters Nana. Thank you
so much, Original Tantana for Chinadjuni. Hello.
You know,
yes, sir. Got it, you.
O flyers no ye kepa theater with
that's it.
No Canada. I communication dey send me omo jaya jeje mu a. Ye fire all the time. Ghana who don't see. Enti ye mfa ho. Ni omo pese omo ye bi omo ye NDC empeni for no. Me dey yima. Because
okay.
Yes. UCG. First of all, a good call by the energy minister. But baby, me di hu yaw. Say UCG na investigate meters no. Eno na me ase wo ho. Because at least it should be a different entity and a body be. But UCG na enko investigate meters in there. Adabraka. 7 day you know yes
and pay you for say a person to kwai no koda kotoko kromu a so mu nyina abusuafo nkora I agree with you Sanka maybe are different here but anyways
yes na me energy player me wo food no na the woman say meter we digital na no tu da ko me kan bibia kire so we person who experience meter no now who send your consumption city pa e say we kono proper electrical wiring me kasa as an expert energy commission on say ECG before we apply meter no ti say omo enforce law no pa nti ye hwe e man ko 4 years ade no ye was setting breaker bi e sensor say leakage wo wiring no near this breaker and friend RCD
okay
in short residual circuit device so earth leakage and wiring no leakage wo ma now connect power no ma breaker na otu da ko e be triple down
as I say
e be ko offer entimi mount to say the output from the meter to say what wo meter and wo connect meter na ma wo dan no enti baby ayedi cable no e supply wo dan ye friend tail end it would meter no power no share breaker no now the wood na e ko dan no no e share the other side now switch breaker no on so wo leakage a breaker no be ko off entimi gina so wo on e be ba down which means wo leakage that meter we so support na wo hwe ye wiring system ne ye dan a ye tim wo otu da ko ebi wo a e dan no ma wire bom rules be 10 12 and it will be perimeter after wo koye separation e say wo katikati sa particular room no e feed the others no wire no wiring no correct ama na earth no so you will improve one and the meter no issue no there e wo aha ye kwan ho meter can be
problem na kasa no is it with a new meter problem and I say old meters
a new meter na aba no akufa do tam na omo sesan
no
yes if no say wiring problem here a problem kakra bi wo ho a no otu da ko ne ewom ni say obi ho wo earth ba leakage wom no earth no twe credit no e de be ko down earth na ya ma na enye bia enye correct one na entimi en sustain no because earth no wo ne faso earth na apart from say e ma wo consumption na egu no and also what the reason other factors radio sunti new meters no problem kakra bi wo wiring na ubenya problem with consumption it was obi ho a o se me 250 ni yusu hwe but ye kwakwa examine the wiring na baby otie na okay and na meter we na aba na en support the kind of wiring na ye wo ye sister ye we ECG ye we
enti we industry player enti there na ye be ya some of these things na be solve
very good enti ni ye be ye ne say ye se ye ma Sitiano mean to Mika energy ministry no almost 7 days no because me say they obey line atum let me abaka FM so 101 maybe an your home babeka after 7 days no me so almost entire meter na nkasa no say e expiring date Meter no expiry date. Into the time so a problem. Into a lot of factors coming together. Into meters when they were on a lifespan. A good warehouse at check. Into other watch channel. Nothing at the brewer. Maybe I would do 1 year later on the time I saw it.
It's specifically no. How long? Anna meter no it was Azania Casa ISPA.
Okay, for due to different manufacturing system and other companies, a bit me from 7 years to 10 years, between 7 to 10 years. Yes, into another war, reading Sibimu also. Until from 7 years you call so over 2 years complaining near the churches are reading now. A bema some power meter.
Maya, na me will fear. Ebia, said you was and crying in an yes, year dying. Niakasi pay meter. Ebia, then a meter no what that. Also, him da if you run at the bebo honey idea, until Kubisano. Obey the say meter baby a dree. I spar it's a Jimisika as I may find margin.
Okay, good question. And you know, customer now we use meter no. Uche, consumption. So Uche, Nasa, Utodua, Utuda, so what much Obo, to tell you what Busa for Obo, what said be a channel on fan 2,000 for betting at Tubusu. It is a 3 days lesser, no, fan of one. And you know for but to tell many will go work for me. That's also now consumption. Who cannot say, call your mouth at Mombra office. Your UTG power up no and also me person me education wo ho ni nyina wo ho obet na report to force without going to UTG office no your quick response team omo be ma omuaye 40 who course up no so o be be 40 you wo ho story meter na asefo nyina
what do no say me show production o number ntino ye be he mate
to da kon me da me usual caller Tanzania ni pa.
This meter issues here and until in a year makwanya my you know how potting and meter no. Hello my patrol din any baby afraid
and I see that Femi Davis make a sexy test and one Becca Junction.
Yeah, uncle.
Okay. Nana the do for kuku sector and Mokakra.
And no hold on not me see a meter and seminal into the attempt baby for kuku say how why producers munya botre man kakra ya for fraud on so channel 0302 2080 90 0302 2080 90. Hello Mbacho radio na no dey Mr. Ofra na wadwum radio na na obetima free ho man but odi ni ba bia free
hello na no tu
yes sir
wunya omega kan ko south ni
omega empom to say
oh nyame adu yebuso na meter nsam na aye pa e wo form
aye hunu yeko
je tini say meter no enu ankasa wo ho a etumi ma low current na asia ba high enu ndenten
ada meter na ECG
etumi ma low current na asia ba high ena je totu
ECG anase mo transformer bina na meter
ya to wo wa won se kane no akofom ta aye ble
meter no
o ate asia pega ni ai se ayi bia da nsuo bi so ekosora na asia abafom na o hawa wo ho ni se me ka kire ye papa John Dramani Mahama ya ankata ye president any for se meter asem no aba no for energy minister wani ECG anka mom no anyi meter na ntu ho anfa normal one amba ebekwa tie NDC aban ne papa because aye issue a ewo from anti we ne yebesre say na reset na agenda no emre sa meter temi so why yesre no ena de sort we no nso ye wo mu a wo mu afa oman DC a o se for mu aso
meter pen ye
okay
anti ma onu anso mra bi 0302 2080 90 hello
and so why yeah that
okay 0302 2080 90 0302 2080 90 inim how meetings and seminar how I mean ubetimi aba so now so actually dey bia now so wo nim dia kwantre bia ubetimi dia mind hello
Doctor Nana otu daako.
Piao, JTech Intimika.
Collins ye, EDAPM Amamole.
Amamole.
Fantastic. And Waganoff Municipal.
That's right.
Now, before Meko issue ni so. Sir, my sister will say, Yakupo Yaduma, Obeba as Deputy Communication Officer. That's all.
Me try.
Fantastic. What? You see, could I mention Gina as Deputy Communication Officer? Ewo Trobo constituency.
Yeah.
Me not that. Me timsu ye.
Unya not na wa mama eno di no.
Ah! Me do this odo. Send ya join one. Ono so call on the post wo Dome Kwabenya.
Ah, Deputy Communications.
Fantastic. Me say we see ye mudu to na ebegina because we are the voice of the voiceless.
More fire. More fire.
Fantastic.
More fire.
Media.
Bruh.
Share me tansen media. Na no tu dako. Say wo meter na bo there no a. Say a property of electricity of Ghana.
Batwine.
Mo. Again na semi permitter. Na mia mato credit guso. Na o mine so nya so faso a. Agi me bra samisaka.
Ajo bransa na osaka na kania no.
Mita no. Yeah. Mita bo udan ya no keke. Na we fa ne say o permitter. Nyoma wo pese wo so wi asi bia no wo. When you be fa to say masa senye encheche ni bia. Ebe hu anaso bia wo ni no office ho. Ti say kenye yemaka yen omo ye ni mo one on one eno de kwan bia so no obe make sure so be nya genuine meter the amount.
Abai we buy in 1 year no sa problem no gusu ho.
Oh. Se si ade meet me nkate ma buy banki ni huye. Yes, e wo ho akameka.
Okay.
Ni huye.
Me only tell me visa za question say abandana no de no me goro boys o.
Fantastic.
So meter no e wo ho pa. But
no ma se no wan. But we dey me kase ma buy we dey bia me kase mo ma ye tinitini se ya wo ba ohun a wo ka no. Enye so ye NDC ni ntino enye kura eye dabi. Ntina se we dey ni hu bi sada.
Yeah.
Mo
me da se on so watch the it's important. Now, next caller. Hello. Oh, went to mention so 0302 20 80 90. Hello. Yes, sir. Maybe to that come back to the baby free.
Nana, maybe Mr. K, free Awoshi.
I mean to free Awoshi.
Mr. K, only baby. So smart meter, you want to be brave.
Okay.
Now, meter means fixie. I am fixie. I feel I be install it. That very day, nobody be install it. Normally, a card so over 400.
Ah.
Yes.
Meter yenya in your installations.
Yes.
A card so.
I mean, what evidence?
Why more card also?
Yankupon. Meter na mudi ba bebo no. A card so me special meter credit. Na me say installation no mu ye no kai correct. Or say this meter more than 400 cities. Persona meet me anya credit.
Obi meter near 2 free ni down over board the one also new meter.
No, brand new meter.
Na brand new meter the calculator then that so.
Yes. Niko kaya omo kan tell me say ya program meter net to work for so many years and so many months. It is service charge and e gugu so. And I me say meter that na me use no. Aso na mo be replace no. Meter service charge it was meter ni so. It was a day now mo take away off now mo install new one now we to start it. What no?
Me question no say meter o mo shase new so ye no. You pay service charge and I don't know. Forgive my ignorance, but because in my opinion, I was thinking say yeah dia bo ho a I reading I see adwuma no. Then I start paying service charge.
Yes.
But meter e bi egu ho no mo me new so ye. Na ma konta o say ada ho 5 years. Into me pay service charge 5 years. Na me dem.
Sa no mo pa atre. And the me have can that ana me use no. Me pay service charge.
Yeah, that
omo can say e ta na me di hu ka na every di mam no. Na dia me use no so me tia hu ka.
Ba ko ECG, oko ECG no
for ECG ko report almost say they have nothing to do unless I pay before me to use electricity.
Wow.
And I me say oh okay. Some just say me answer na me so. kwan bi am so may so electricity no may so nti me na me yeboni ana mu na mo yeboni we na na me bisa o
no we dey say 14 free
mami tre ma adwen ba ko so electricity
okay mate
yo udi meter bremi na kama yusu na mato credit nti ese udi ade abremi na anam so na me udi aye adwuma adenti na yi sigin to me obi sini dan no wa ye we ye bibia no mo asese omo to me manu meter in credit not every month bia ya tinu charge e wo so na wetumi use meter no e bia say 10 years na odi betu your meter no ko 20 years na odi betu your meter no ka de bia na ye too me see say so mo ye no say aban no benya fa so mo e wo nipa no so sini say they can say for 900 for 1000 bla beji no outright na eno so e bi ni ho nana inta ka me so say meter ni brewa maybe I can say musumi bia obeti bia 10 cedis and 5 cedis for bia 5 years and 10 years and son na wetu ahun carry nti nipa ni stress something no ko pesca dia kotomita and obi akovia obi meter and na obi di meter ya 12 free dia ko different place I can solve problem ni nyina e be solve.
Anyways, thank you for that. But me who say meter, it's just a simple case. I don't know why SOB brands and when meter. I some minister. I just don't know why. But anyways, me sure say your minister radio no fantastic. They'll be able to solve. Me for hello.
Senior, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, Ubado.
Home sensor.
Yeah.
Oh,
what you baby? What you baby?
Say brother Dama.
What you baby? Because you man about you. We don't know about you, who could manage to go with you. Because a human would declare that necessary Ghana and a man you bunu, and yes, me baby say me baby say you. Near why a panel on any agent you say, will bow by a more answer who bound to me.
I know this coming.
So there's no mammy can't just say Obenua or contest baby I would obey or contest to what obey or Babat and home. A different person apart from what a class man as a class media.
Yeah, that's it.
So Obimpo Jessica in your home sense group, your boat Jessica and I beg you, air terminal. You might, yeah, grounds on actually the whole way. Because you acquire a quite a backa now, or grounds as far as a cry from is concerned.
Home sense, set a cry from there. They be a moye wajuma. Anytime you get to the producer, we will give you opportunity. Now, Monsuma radio station, Papa ni BSC in your idea. The most of muchefa. Munya time wa na ma free producer na mosoma ba no maka madwen Ghana be ko nanim.
Because yatraha no mo bada dan yama and there should be ya baba tena message would ya men come so ECG me call me meter na me di January see your mo basesa even first of all no na meter make it no say credit no san me why normally na ka e show pin na just aka 3 pencil was so and show she before a show not just a crab at the chili. No, most of the new one a back. New one on crampo in your on internet, some problem into a mobile son. Or make a some meet and use for a commercial. Use for if ye a hand. So, maybe a workshop on a me use no as a word done or mobile different one about running down than me use no. And that old one may talk at 600 cities. Omo tisikano sena na ubi sana omo tisikano message bia miya okay ba ka tramba omo ba mi complain omo so oh new one aba no omo de ba mame even 50 na egusu no omo start here I tell you so me send makuma ha me to I don't want to waste my time to go their office there and see amafu brapa omo ta konye kwampa akasa omo to me kasa. It is terrible. It is terrible. Because since I year started Ghana, no, me unfortunately, na Kenya, funny serious no background to my.
Minister, I take it over. Or her syncrophobic na ya penhopu mesibre. What we are doing this afternoon is ya engage mo. Sabi ni a committee no de baba bonten no. Sabi mpanyifo ni nyo bia no beti ma engage mo. Yen so mo na mo ye community amutie yen. Ana monso na ohaw no ankasa ewo momufie eti we are expecting say abra yedin komo Ministry of Energy Electricity Company of Ghana on be chro mo how no ato then they know how they will be able to make it up in terms of giving you guys solutions through the committee. No, let's believe in this minister. Of course, and yet John Jenapa, and I the light out to him. I bind that and Nico almost every time doom so, and you know, the light him. Say, bedroom lighter, I just say, Bia or transform a business. So it means Honorable John Jinapo is doing something better the previous administration was not doing. But the meter problem there affects you, and that is why I think say Yanko Swanka na why? Why? Very well. And he or no so not you or train 0302 2080 90 0302 0302 2080 90. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Mbajo me kasafi Lebanon na me din di Paul.
Okay, mama nti o Paul.
Na mita wasu ya mu kan yi. Me so me ni mo bia up to now akufo do time no. Na ni mita say prepaid. I say nanso on top prepaid do je musu. O mo use like sa e wo fie ho.
Hey.
Emma, Madame for Big Show, I can't say what the Flora, so Uncle Young, Flora, and Film, only say, Hanu, Nimodia, or Wacobona, my name.
Hello, a old meter.
That is a
prepaid new one, smart ones now the buying. And I'll say, only park on where you saw one triaka, but Timubi, mammy.
Omunto prepaid medium issue like that.
That's a day prepaid. On to I want to mean your light. I don't know, and I'm connecting the Akosufio.
And I mean to be meaning keep your but Madame for number a complaint to them is more than a 2 years old.
Okay,
I the time.
See me.
It will make me power or a VR now, Mamma Papa or 2 abonaments, and a VR report when you're going to correct. Now, on any field, and not back.
So, tell me, this what we do. Men for phone in why you name to so producers never your number. Oh,
okay.
Now, investigation be also, if possible, cry easy Janelle what area on FM because they should be away. So
that means that's
oh, that be make a trauma say. Oh, now I can't tell me, but Mom can't tell. What did I make?
Not my watch left you, but I mean, but I'm going to say, I'm a watch today.
And I say, make a trauma say, oh, now catch me, but Mom can't tell. Anyways, one of the ethical principles of journalism is confidentiality. Don't worry. I mean, we will hold you in confidence. We'll be anti. Why?
I'm
find a number. No, that's phobia. I join here. Okay. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Me pacho radio na no eden. Yentio.
Me pacho Frank Naro new Dominion Ameyo.
Hey, Frank Naro.
Minia Otudako.
Domi kwa benya boko.
Domi kwa benya de high boko. Esan ya chama papa yinya ni chama ya zikini lamte. Ndi high boko ojane nanu. Mama wa shama bibia edadi. There is business so koso. I'm going to register because we have
register there.
Oh, me as soon as me or the media. So me market for the me register papa because me blanch air rather than sun. In the also in the market and a board we should be one. I get for man on me and this form of condo in this and one to make sure e basa minia and you organize and so you do papa ya bona basu mame. Alaji Kala.
Oh, Kara say me minia.
Hey,
why district why boss?
Oh, onwa.
Kara me aminu na so hwa me o. Me onu me nya no ane amaye no.
Kala njo.
Onya me aminu ansu no.
Any ajuma registration etwom.
Dabi onu me mani twa me hia no munga mu pa face to face.
I know. They got the motor no twa man for register over no. Oh, Kala de ajuma ne de. Unde you pay bi o a. Yes, so a bolugbe. I don't know Kala ebia. What the dam who do
Kala come on. You know I'm shase no. So he's a strong guy.
Oh, why do? Where the youth no I know must have.
Mami too. Yeah, okay, yeah for I think that. Well, you know also. Okay, I think so. We're free for. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. And the mama quite said, or how am more far meter and 700, especially smart ones and mama you. But oh, how any free?
That would be a Philip Murphy patient.
Okay, my meter, Minia.
When he says that meters no measure a chain mechanical meter. Mechanical meter. I say, credit, I say, Utua, I say, maybe say, Udana, you are saying, whom never chew. Tiasi. Is it Madame Fobi? Or 200 cities? Or you or could you know, but maybe over you may know about TV. Asa. Or 200 by 5 days, Nasa.
Why?
By 5 days, Nasa. Not do. There may be meters, no. So, Oma, your connection will move from the we are some more Fisherman, you are no more the other.
Anna, Minia, one more thing. Because some time back, either CTV or Navish one of them, me need a year ECG from Penny for the big and I think say senior ya you use one canian so no. Ebu ha here education. Yan 2 and yama 1 for instance. Obu on more better tadia no afire no. To say maybe since anamity into the be a may no. No matter what tadia back on a mache. According to them no. Anytime be over 2 atadia back no. A year ahwade no anyina mahwade na kania no betwe no ebetwe no anytime bi abeto ba ho enti enka the advice say o to ne ma e bia the whole week wo so ayo na unum no na de ato ni nyina again obi on mo a ne washing machine no every day bi obeso si ne ma aso awofoforo but e bia nka benya particular day say Saturday wo so washing machine no a unum no wo de be si ne ma ni nyina me ba to na me ka no ti ase voltage do no a also no ba ku bi a etwe no so also no 10 times a between the same voltage for 10 times but anka also no ba ku no wan num no a the same voltage no obetimi de senior man nyina and you keep your light in check so some of this education so aya na ehu hia
na education ni nya ye ni I imagine like the Bob yes Bob entry currency and no na wo so buy number wa so wo dia wo du kwa wo TV ni po ahia na obehwe wa ko eduma ba wa bre ada se bia de bia basis indiama madam for no waja ni fridge po se waja fridge use
wow
the fridge awa to no waja fridge ni use onu kwan so ba waja fridge ni use ada and meter we say and this one say bakubu or smart one bakubu anu bo say example a utimi di card ni ko kira be mo bonus bi ada say na we no enya kwa e mo bonus bi a e mo bonus bi and odo ago ga meter no mi say nika for meter e sun once dey any sun no o sa na eko ebo fi nana
all right
yes minister dey where waka no so be there and I say about about to be a wokono and I tie with it. Yeah, be campaign iron. Tie with it.
Yeah, that's it. For God and country. Kwame, you face an for last caller. You for last caller. Okay. Hello. Me not you didn't be free and free.
Me you call me Baba down to my beach.
Baba meet you, me.
I say no too.
Yes sir.
Me dia go there.
More fire.
Bonya na ko bodu mama do mama. Eni ni apamfo no.
More fire.
Me ta sama okay won. Me de me hu say your system na nkasa na enye papa. Because ube jimita board and ube manji hu say ube say nyama na wo yusu no. Say konzum nyama na ube yusu be do no pese wo yusu. But we want to prepare now, sir. Now, because I broke from everything, some of the meter the brain, then I'm going to meet anyone from the brain. Oh, Ghana. Yes! Because
Ghana for one was money, meter.
But the money is too much. Put to make top prepared 100 3 days, 4 days. Let's say,
also, then I brought from you meter, one son of the meter never.
Yeah. It's too much. Now, Ikasema okay jana yisi jifuna nkasa na munyu nia we are some pessimistic in mind because it's too much. Ube na. That's when you should be. ebi ya mi keke na bia woni sika no ifi mu sha na mu kan na mu catch minister
Mate
mi kama pa do mama
Mate
jiro dabla
Mate ya mishra
bo mo na ko ma ya ta weti
meko Deputy National Communications Officer meko very well ma yemfa callers no ensi na yen crossover quickly na yen call Ghana Armed Forces as well ye reporter ho ni bedin come but Kwame ma men can release way briefly and Kwadwo for release no eto so man way free Ghana Armed Forces or say press release issued by the Department of Public Relations General Headquarters Burma Camp Accra. Ghana Armed Forces conduct search and rescue at sea. The Ghana Navy, supported by the Ghana Air Force, have been conducting a search and rescue operation since dawn at sea, 35 nautical miles off the coast of Senya Breku in the central region. This follows an attack on some fishing vessels in the general area. The operation is ongoing and the Ghana Armed Forces appeals to all to remain calm. Further details to be communicated. And Wilfred Veronica Ajo Ahin, or a captain, Ghana Navy, acting director, General Public Relations. Yehese yene yana musini Samuel Ado between komo na wa boy enchiremu ne yakoba yen come say we stream live on Facebook Accra 100.5 FM Jumedi in the Citizen Show Medindi Nana Otu Dako ye come to say na ye be 101 with a member of parliament you are na Abeja Fonso Atenase na ye the politics of the day my enkwani ene Samuel nkomo hello Samuel
Nana Otu
na bra ne kra ne say
ne kwa ne say ya ye mfimfini mante mu ha de say enkoyi mayesa
sawa ho
enkoyi mayesa o sha say eti ase don person mu ne ye edi agro bi a ye ni nse kora ye ni nso
eti ase don me kasa bi a emodru
mu
emodru anyways Ghana Armed Forces at the criteria bi ababonten a yenso ya kan kakra ba ye bepe mu nchiremu ade important anasi
yo Nana Otu Dako say na ye nyina ye nim Senya Breku de uka ubodin na obi anim say omo de afarefo na omo eye na de bia omo dwumedi omo di ni say omo ko eye poso ekokoyi nam eba ama Ghana fo enye bi edi omo ko abi ohwa na nsa na wotwe mienu ansa na bia omo aba na eye afarefo yi akọ be na nseni a chese omo na mo kwan so a chese omo eba nkasa na omo ba na no mu se nkrofo bi so e de boat fufuro e di omachi a chese omo enye America ketu akra America tenten pa na omo di omachi ntimto mu hu sa no mu se so na nyoma ekeka kono anu yenyane nti e mo nso ayiro mo ho SPD app nanso na nkrofo nso ho ye ha no mo start say omo ma warning shot nti e ba na sa no mo se yenyina hwe ya nkrofo yi ebia na omo bekunya nti e mo mu ginan e man nkrofo no ebeto wom omo du no mo start say warning shot no anye e so mo to no indiscriminately e wo wi ma nya asem ketwa e ma omo du wa pe no mo say obia ne wo hu bia fabra say ye bledo say ye sika o say ye den omo jeje omo hu nyoma nyina wi ye ene Adboard Motors eye makomako 7 ene omo tutu ni nyina efi boat ne so eye omo operations nyina ene de omo ke che so mpa je say no de eye ke say very fast quick one ankasa operation here very fast omo nya wi ya pe na pa omo de omo ti ebu ma che say omo de American tente e Ghana ekoye enti ekoko ba ne sa no na che say omo ni atawom omo ajom hu nyoma nyina even omo we crampo che say kanu kana say Outboard Motors here omo de che say omo de pushi eye wo friend na de eye kanu yi omo ageni nyina enti na che say esi ade omo aka omo ne omo nyame na puyi to omo kwa ha na to omo aba ha to omo ko nifa na to omo aba benkum sa say ade omo ni support bi a omo tumi dia control eye kanu no nti e ba na sa no emo atumi bom afre omo yonkonfo ni bi ebo mamane e wo tetefo say asema atoye ni o nti no mo hwe na mo mama rescue wom na bi no mo so atumi nyomuti edidi mu omo de ba na sa no mutumi edwane
ede omo ko te sun bi mu nti e ba na sa no nkofo na ehu omo nti omo so etimi be pie mu be ba amane se nia ato omo nkofo ewo
we dey mean twa no but me ma busuafo me hwe se em se hu videos na om dia go Facebook no na hifo na dey padders pada go bebre om ya hifo abusuamu betima ba Facebook videos no ho nkoma na ye die no ho adanse na dey ato so no oba hu se we dey se ne pada na do so pa
otu na no tu sesi ya na mte ba na sa no we Ghana Navy for na marine police for eto mu ho egu mu ahomate na kokohwehwe wom enti mi no ka say be 30 minutes ago ya na tese omotumi ede nipa makomako 71 ni
30 minutes ago ya
30 minutes ago ya nti very fresh 30 minutes ago ya na tese omotumi di omo aba nipa makomako 71 na Ghana Navy one marine police
omo Facebook ye hwe eye wonu na eti boat na edu omachi no so
yakwakwa jiji omo hunyi omo nyina omo ena tese omo bebe kansa tese busuafo ani age a omo tese omo de omo nkwa akura ba bedu no na tese ya de mu na omo ani age a omo jubilate to powder egu omo so sa no ejina tese Ghana police marine police for any navy for abom humodin etimi akwakwa ji omo tata ede omo ba bedu asumdwe mu
we no se obia mprade obia ho anka abusia ubetima joining live on Facebook ohwe obi kra odom na pia ya mafrim na oni bia di nkomo apart from initial commentary na o maaye no say na ya rescue ni course no I mean what jinchiremu I mean
jubilation
no eba beto wo mu akwamukafo no ana say na tie
esi anu jubilation ne do so nti e twen na bibia akofom na for center for ya pen ne enyomo edi nkomo na yehu senia nyoma si ekofa ye okwan omo pa so tenkrofo no mutumi ko nya omo ache omo tekoti so omo no mo kokon ye kunkum omo gupu ni mo te den no ye twen na bibia akofom ne ni mpanyefo etumi edi nkomo
na we do omo kire mu a wo do waso so fama ne edi kan ni ana say title wom
so wo sha am say nia atatuom na atuom pa ni nyan eni ebi wo ho mpa say ebi wo ho na omo ye illegal fishing ni bi na bia mutumi ni omo elikosi eni wo ho but say etuo pa yerba be gina omo so age omo hunyoma tututuo de ebi sa nta ensi ebi say ento omo sada
okay and the best say we do waso form now de wani edi akiri unye odomu asuko a na ode nsam no so amaye ne so ya wesa pu bi amaye ye ni atifo Yadase. Ya bra Samuel Ado.
Ya kunsum ya ba na imbiri yakono. Yedu aramo ye pia ba 2. Yedu fanda pono do 7 o'clock. The 7:30 no kofuna ede. Oba to share do. To omba to share do na. O se yin machine ede. Yen fa mom. Na ye gbogbo tun wo yin machine am na. Wan fa mom a oba chitun. Na o reka obrofo blocking English ni bi. Ena mi yi anu de. Mma so yen de. Onyi if machine on for mom na on for mko into oyi machine mo no order on na shama kro so ede wa ba enche oba enche jino no so ede wo ko no do kwaji on so ode enye na yese ho but nyankopo adum ya ba nsa no ye nya chichi ofi ye vene nyankopo wo ya bompa ede want me etona vede wan fa mbo bia ano na ya de nyankopo ase de ya befi asundwum de no mkita AK47 4 but otwin na do odisi onkofo phone no odisi do na mama say de okutu machine no odmam no mokwe ba sa no but na ye nyina de yakumotu de okada obekun ye peyin ye nyina yakumotu ba de yakupo ase de one for utu anka obi anya de na ya but ye nyina ye ma yon arechichi de enya hwe nipa na de nipa na oto machine ndi so waja yamfa mo no mko ya de bobo bosia na de na ya tobi na de ayedwuma omuka de se ebotum wontu machine ntamo a ombo shitun and no mo pomu ye nyina kwache nyama na kan ho and you know, you before Kuno John, you know, I don't know about you know, young was into my actually, or beyond to Mancasa. Or they, you know, and I don't know for machine or the Homo Coy. No, I mean, Miss it. What one bass has to tribune to me that. I say, Miss Annie, you mean to me to make a demon to me. I'm not a mock my head, a minister may in a member. Only in Nigeria for. Only in Nigeria for. No, I'm a cabloki. I'm a cabloki, Uncle. When I do couldn't there. The Minya or Chichu Monday. Bible says we be out to work fast there for Miami. And they made my can. But you're from Tavia. Oh, me doing that day, me papa fear the from the condo. Cocoa condo. But they tell you when me didn't have which no from Tavia. You couldn't you buy an Imbilia cono. You do a ram or a peer bay too. You do find a pono by 7 o'clock. The 7:30 no coffee day. About to share do. Don't to share do now. What's the machine there? You for mom. You both when you machine amona. One for mama. Obey chicken. And all local bluff blocking English in be. Enemy yarn there. Master there. When you
offering FM and you realize not just team Nankasano omura adia umupa. I can imagine the state and psychologically. Ya 22 so AK-47 and all kind crowd when you bear 4. But the question is Nigeria for no. I mean, but anyways. Well, how many danger access because I know we patrol our nautical borders. Some of these things are trans-organized crime. What is in Crawford Ashada Akom Wabomua. A syndicate. A syndicator. For all you know, they communicate with somebody, say, woman Druhan and Yama, like, and I'm happy, sir, and penny for Timiako rescue Ghana this year. But the question is, how well are we patrolling the borders and if like the nautical regions of Ghana? And how safe am I far for one way? Maybe that should be my first question to either the technical director or the public relations officer or the personal assistant to the minister in charge of fisheries. You try say or see a man bear some 5 minutes now he'll get back to us. But it's a serious thing. But you see, you for your junior kran say omo coin anka wa mamai. And I say penifo do no nanka. This is a serious issue.
But Nana unim say Saturday etumi si wo ba bia anti niam ni bi wo ho a me pese ye beto ye mbo ase. Near from the army side and the woman rescue because we figure we military ni release here nipa na 59 and I report and also can 70 something into near man bebre o ho say pray your home for now security issues
I be say me enye the content of the matter na me hear the overall security apparatus of our nautical borders na make not as here I'm just say they apply that place and
no say kwanso we security for kwam ni ade na nipa bo no ni betumi anante aye ne nyina na ma ya tena trot
akwa say ye kwanso yi we dey police for your kwam kafo.
Yes, so but me I think say we are trying say ye benya empenfo a wo munim we ministry no wo mu bedi nkomo a ye behu how many people are involved because wo hwe we ne esi wo tomatoes free Burkina. It tells say baby wo at this time nankasa say South Sahara hanankasan because of Sahancrophone na tutrafo ni tiama niema bebre ayehu we wo mo de nam puso obi say wo mo ye we no bi nam puso na bi okura ne shape na bi also yi face a wo be kwa hwe no say AK-40
no but see senior you presi not carbon entisa won't me fru kro meyi enam Ghana.
Yes, I know.
I'm sure you know. In some kind of am come in tell cars as I'm say obi na posu no yakobi sense AK-47 channel. Only park no the legal.
No, these machines are here na dey apply say waters. So
that's what I'm saying. So we can have a conversation and say how equipped are okay, so you say Brown Quay, be defender Montanas. Mammy Quanamine Honorable John Quayson, Education Como, or a presidential advisor to Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry. Kwame, Papa, so Owakadamu, Afari, or no Casamatis, or a senior fisherman to experience. Okay. Yamuhamu Aquabu, higher citizenship craft.
Number
na mekaina no kre yes so experience ba base yenya faria not just say you are one
more than 45 years.
Wow, 45 years. But in your line of 45 years Jumano we share bibi saying that or how anuanum yakomi bibi sa to pen
I made on to me now, all to Munia, and I'm now open. Nigeria for no. First, simple, you go by that 4. None with the breach on neighbor into the breach. And see, I assume no able to do my see what you call. Assume the team the modern recording. Make a fisherman about how to do that was I want you a beja. No, I tried to wait in my shield. No, canoe now go to ye.
I'm so happy, sir. Somebody like you, or your advisor, presidential advisor, my fisheries and aquaculture ministry. Because you're a practical and hands-on person. People like you understand the issues better when it comes to nautical borders. But me bisa say. How safe are our fishermen on the sea? Ye papa nom ni nuanom ye ofa nom a ekoyinam no. How safe are they on the seas?
And nkofons wo we na se epunum ye kon na unde nyama kakra ugu bebi a na wa kata akwan. Se nyama dudu ugu a anka wontum omba. Se dudu no ugu a anka wontum ni so border aya what order if me jan into wontum won ya courses so anna to the first 40 years na phone ni we ade yako po ngite phone si say ngite phone ebia oye nufa no over tackle nufa into what board what ukite speedboat machine or two no bo into what bank ten wa chuchu so ya ma won do so a no be shema nko won to wonko ka fafun was style bia obotu ya amposi so dey fa ya adwen there say the monko ne so ba ta tie na o dey hu da ya ma dudu ne ya twitwoko ibi fiboka ibi fiande na ya ba sin ya ma dudu na we funu ugwane pa ya ma dudu na nasa in your network you put one ka tiba wa mu chidi opi nti yama nchan wo pin yama dudu won chan wo pin ni na na chi no o we engine o ye 2 o ye speed je fe no speed boat o je the mejuma no friends wa chetu odi ni ina adibebe kere won fo nko yes wa chetu nko tida this sky yama kumpa ba mo aja ko
very well
what to ba na wo hwe epunum ye kon de ya na woba obatakan ya makaka
okay
o epuno de
ye beba to okwan a ye na before so efa so aboa but asem ye see momo tene sen na moje ne sen as a ministry
no mo amipo ne pay be de 5:30 na minya call we senya na union anum bi mo call pun 10 o'clock wa attack on pun we did one outboard motor nso ma me ye courses ko mpano na obinim so afo so wajama ma 6 o'clock news na pema wetiti nti obanna ma eye nu wi no be na amahen ko si ni moji shopma epon ina de bia amaka de awon sabe ka fa dad na wase to Togo na yo ko divoa aforo yimunda minima na epon no nitsi oyese irimu we na ma wo mu ti do puma ehun wan na che sheep ko so wodo shape ko so word wo mo ti do puma e hu wan ini be buoko nti nkofu tu akere wo pie ni bo wo gigi ya na agbod moto no wo pie be wo shabu kasol ana wo mo wutiru ana wo sha nde ono bo se earlier call akọ Western and Central another Greater Accra ne hwe no obeden senti kura imu wude ma wo mo ti di shepum wo kwa wayo kana we suta de wodi ko wonu ko mu ntakere efa never boat na we two na we chase one cha lock akoso do no ya possible that boat mu akwa akachi one ko sai punala o kakre kana sai pone helicopter bi no na mpuda na nko no bon obada do mu na nkofu na worokwe no for never boat na dende uncle abazen
okay na ntia kwan be na as a ministry mo coordinate ma Ghana Armed Forces if like Navy for ene enuanom akakabo mutimi rescue enuanom yi say na see
oh na pilot na ya fa naval commander na ohwe na mo fa no ko insurance na no so otu no nkofo no gum na yanye marine police so enwona akase na enyi na anum afolofo no bi so enwona akase okoto wona na wodi wona abadade nto abadama course na yeye ide na so wa chon so a nkanka no bezen because yakọ soup ya nya network okọ ichila onya network see dey say abese be 35 another 32 mpo another 30 mpo no wa de maria nke yi hu wan kide obi na ma akọ so wodo was why I call on ma ewa ide mbisa na tero nya so abese mde sem da ochi nti why I call her obo phone
okay
so that is abese me biasa another 35 data nko bezen
eti no ni padodo sen ana asrafo no etimi eje wom
oh so far no say yaman why 4 no why na yense ibio nka na yense de obisu mbadade
o se ase 4 ayera
so far wa nyama kasa wo senya no no senya am 4
kanu 4 na ayera na say emedru yenti o menim ba bi omonam anom susu say bia enkrofo no mandi ni
no since I we choko ma nyama bi ni me pimpia menyu kasa miya result there waka for na abadade boss wo form na 42 na almost 6
eti kanu no do de be confusion kakra o hwa nipa dodo be sen ana bia mama rescue om ana yen kan say no dodo ye sen emu sen na yeti age om bia kan ni so ana
yo kanu go ha offer ni be 15 ibi for 20 ibi for 5 ibi for 7 ibi so bo o ko be 3 ko depend e pota atayeko
Today they say, we are aware of the total number.
It's already Munda, if you were taking a fool, another way as a soulful, another way watch a fool.
So by now, as a ministry, as a munya briefing, even from the Navy, the Naval Department of Ghana Armed Forces, they should brief you with statistics. Say be an any padodo saying and boat to do saying near rescue do say maybe medru ye. You don't have those statistics to share with us?
No, only the mouth follow for na one kasa. Many security for them kasa. Mouth follow for na because security for no money you might follow for be the 141. 144 for security for mobi. Na me follow for na one good kasa.
Very well. Okay, afutu be na wo honum ema yenuanum afarefo. Sene we yene ebeti mediso
sisi ada obobo empa se kada yidi man ba da speedboat or never speedboat sinya helicopter bia na kada ma sem kuki no ko be na otu ya just a second ona no so we hu oroba obo on where the mad that's a never boat pan or you chase one on time see the one so back one because I put on kana kana helicopter on so bibia obo form wakodom bibia so never bota or ko one way no
can we say minim so information to the effect say bia afarefo no they went beyond the borders of Ghana na baby it was still within the nautical borders of Ghana, because then I'm surprised Kakra say the terrorist attack be say they would have attacked. I mean, my question is so where were our security guys? And they don't apply a promotion.
No. Chile be way information be ansana. One patrol upon the Debia Dabi.
I just want the information. But the military is to protect the territorial boundaries of Ghana. So
on the Chile way information be ansana.
I will not even let you hold brief for them because we are Ghana forces and also a ministry of fishery. So
no, it's a critical answer.
Yes. Mamina was say ye bo pumubi and God bless you. You better time about Honorable John Quason, our fisheries and aquaculture ministry or penny or I had to say or also didn't change him about yeah say you're a security expert I mean, like I said, as a student of peace and security, I now understand that some of these things are organized crime or transnational organized crime. With him say syndicate group and boom. Yes, they have a lot of people they connect. And my main corner opinion case. Oh, opinion you are more than a mammy manage hopa. Okay, yes, sir, you benyano. You're Richard Kumado, a security consultant.
Nana unim.
But are you satisfied with answers?
Me satisfied. The beyond me satisfied. But let me leave that.
Okay.
Now, when nema we chere say ye du mribia ese ye dictate ye man e wo se na wi ase akodu no obi nimi di nkomo bi no se se Ghana fo kure tu kwan kwa abro chire kura womu tu kwan a womu nim kuro na womu koso no so mra ne ade na education ne ade we to say sa say se wo Africa hakura na se wo hu say e bia Togo Burkina ne areas ne ade atutwafo bi aba ho a those people no womu attacking crofo nti se wudi nkomo who sign like if you see something say something who sign be a and I say who ko baby say na say wo fab say na say wo ye say na say wo ye na papa kan kura kire say nipa no kura na wo ye wo de kan tete adwene na wo wa wo de ye adwuma no say okay pone de yakoso ya keke enti ne yakof no so ya keke ne de ye wo tumi wo so your friend is saying recently I will be apopofo bi na wo mo yewe wo fufu abeje nkwan all those people woman say ade a wo ma ya anti wo mo nya experience
say no kind
but then
5 years experience
yes dynamics na abemu no
ensusiano
eso but no can say obi am petrol we na I don't think say or that
say no ntina ho no me stop here no because me person obi hold the brief the Ghana Armed Forces. I mean, it will be weird.
But we are trying to raise them.
They patrol. I mean, they patrol. Yeah. But the question is, one patrol, then at that very material point in time, and community to show on sir.
And I too young.
Some parameters are patrol.
Is that Odifo be acha say fish bi wo ba bi bebre a wese ehokra do ko hokra
odi enfasem bi show odifo bi anka me
and wonim na krom ha ma ne ma ya go
krom akra tu
ntina na but ese wo mo educate ni power ne ma bebre say wiase ne yehu
yes this is
wiase ne yehu pa
osha around your territorial boundaries and osha ona ye no mbo she say Burkina Faso say Ivory Coast anyone who akanwa. Most of them, they have been hit by terrorist attack. Ghana and Omunyaya and Kombi very well. My main this man is one of the most serious security men I have ever come across in the world. Because his expertise cuts across the borders of Africa. Opening Richard Kumado is security consultant. He comes to the table with so much security experiential knowledge. Yeah, kwani enentwe komo. Openye me mo akwaba na ye mo ha Emra Cry FM.
Mina mi da say.
You throw with him, I'm a pen, I'm saying, ha, me papa we.
Thank you.
On the bit much rich, we are my empire. Dan we, Yenyanum by and soon be much the wom. Abram some quacofa in Tusi, a walk Burkina Faso. We know to China. Osha Ghana borders no actually 1 year no a share border almost all the places of terrorist attack invasion kakra alcohol one way or the other. Fufra abebom kra ne se utie ni Ghana forces de ababontia yenuam aforifobi ana akwamukafo e wopo so enso akoto asom so a nyame adom ne se yetimanya omode but what the ensem we nyina esiani a mebisa wo as a security consultant, are we safe as a country?
Yes, we are, because that day minim say minim ne kasa but tomatoes the NC no. Me can say ebi mo so omo crop of fish no. And also omo ye juma with importation. So the challenge omo face here parity. And when you are talking about resolving the land, you must also be thinking about the sea and the air. Apanapa na minim say we eta e babesi. My fishing that na mimi case no ye call fishing war Togo Benin.
Okay.
We stay on the sea for like a week. Yeah, Banu. All our boats got dismantled.
Wow.
Some of my colleagues use the dismantled boats to come to the shore. Then Omujanu were inside the sea.
Hey.
And now it became an issue. Say I cannot be found. How they got to know? I mean, what? Omubaho directly to come and pick me. Meaning in the face of sharks and ships moving all over the place.
Wow.
And with the siren that they are coming and all that, it was just God. So some of these things happen. Maybe sir producer and he say, is it high sea or middle sea or just an offshore just around? And he say he doesn't know.
They say
but when you are
nautical bed.
Exactly. So when you are used to high seas, some of these things are common. Now, maybe the second question say, those who came after them, can they identify them whether they are white, black, or yellow? Because you know, Paris, you know, that their colors look in a funny way.
Okay, so also you interview one of the victims or say Nigerians based on Kasa Onomkai.
Ayo, that's what I was coming. They look funny. And they have been coming here with their boat to come and carry weed and many of those things away. Nasaya never before you're very wild on them. So this could be a reactionary measure against the shipment. Or they have been using the fishing boats to carry the cocaine and the weed from offshore onto boats now offshore now. So if a business deal go bad, you can have some of this one. Or it is just an aggressive attack on them to take their outdoor motors and create stranded conditions for them.
Yeah.
So these are the things. That's but then you also raise the issue about helicopters and surveillance systems and speedboats for naval teams, so that in case of emergencies such as this, they could get there. Then it raised the other question about our fishing men and women coordinated, particularly Unita Krade Harbor, Uni Shama, Uni Tema. Are they coordinated? Uni Chokop, and I said Jamestown. So what are the alarm raising equipments are inside that in case of emergencies, somebody can press the button alarm for help to come? These are the questions we need to be asking. But my understanding is that about 4 boats cannot be found. And it's a NIPA between 10 to 15 on each boat. It means that you have about 40 people out there. Those days are fishing. You need compass. And you see natural knowledge, the stars and the moon, to tell us where we are coming from and where we should be heading towards to. One of the cases, instead of coming to Ghana, we were heading towards Benin rather.
Wow.
So all these things can happen on the high sea. Now one share here now a creative problem amamu. So this is where we are.
Me pacho at the point ya attack in a layman's mind or from a layman's perspective. Near minimum say we have naval authorities who patrol your nautical borders. But at that time they see and where were they?
Probably Probably distance and I mean visa coordination. Because of Jamestown, we know your operational zone. Of Tamahabo, we know your operational zone. Particularly if you are not using ships, boat ships, but you are using the ordinary canoe. We know your boat, we know your operational zone. And you could see them within the same area. And see, attack in the we need to find out what was the distance between where each of the boats were and how they were able to take the canoes from all of them. They couldn't see their other colleagues. But strategically, it could be said, there's a naval boat, no one. There's a distance. And they are not even aware on the days of these fishermen going to the deep sea. Then again, what is the coloration and the relationship between the fishermen and the naval sailors? So that in times of emergencies as that, they will press the panic button for help.
So, we'll share the current Ghana Armed Forces, specifically the naval base of Ghana. A lot of experience when it comes to security matters. Maybe Sasa Ususu said they are well equipped to fight some of the things.
No, for equipment, no, they need help. They really need help. Send the Biami here, advocacy mom. The Biami Kasam, none of them will even come and say, thank you. This is one of the issues. That as a state institution, there's no strategic plan that each year we will be equipping our system. We don't do it. I remember when Atufosi, the Honorable Finance Minister, said he was going to buy 4 jets. I'm saying that every year, let's start the advocacy now, so that every year we add 2 helicopters to the national budget. Within 8 years, you are going to have the required number instead of waiting until you have an accident or crash before you begin to react. You don't have the money. It is the same thing as the Navy side. So we need to bring our eyes there. And it is an eye-opener. Say, the countries we are closer to them, the particular country now, Paris are very rampant there. Because of we, any cocaine, they do that business high, you see fishermen. If there's a competition between them and the fishermen, then this is likely to be one of the reactions or outcomes of that business deal.
A bit we need cocaine, senior manager, whether fishermen.
Yes, we those who live by the coast, we see them all the time. They will bring their ships by on the sea. They park them there. And they use our fisher folks to take the weed and the cocaine, go and give it to them.
To begin say, they cocaine.
Exactly. And take a business right from, I think when President Mahama came, national, let's say the security agencies have done some job right from Benu down to Elugo. On this particular thing, I mean, exercise, no. I don't know how far they have gone with it, but a number of arrests were made. And over within the coastal side, I mean, this is why you have cocaine and weed destroy the young people. Because someone said you have ghetto by the seaside, and you may think it's boys and girls who goes there to do their own thing. No, and the weed and cocaine business hubs are almost here. And they have criminal boys in town with guns and assemblymen within the coast who work with these guys, and they take the canoes, pack it with cocaine and weed, and they send it to the high sea to go and give it to the boat. And they go to Niger and answer the Viaukayan.
Wow. That's a way there. Based on what you're saying, a idea, a time cost, and I'm sure the security apparatus is aware. Have they done much against it?
I have not. It's an area I have not followed for so long because my name is Omuye. And I know some of the people involved and some of the movement they were making. But it's an area I took my eyes off. I was considering more terrorism and fraud and criminality and money laundering. But to the extent that we buy them, probably we'll call those who give us resources to also move around the coast from Aplau and answer from Benin down to Elugu. And I believe if we do it for a week or 2 or 3, we should be able to come out with the rare intelligence and the evidence on the ground in relation to what happens between our coast and whatever you are seeing as a ship on the sea. And they are business lines that do some of these criminal activities there.
But where they make jam because when we say you're free by no being so trim. I mean, you've been consulted all over the world.
Thank you.
You be so we are waiting up why. We throw light kakra on the operations of these pirates and terrorists. Now you hear how I bet my combat to them as a country.
The same way they can come unannounced on the land, the same way they come unannounced on the sea. So they have speedboats, they cover their faces, they come with guns, and they take you ambush. So because of the element of ambush, your friend element of surprise, you are not aware, you are not prepared, your position is weak, then they take advantage of you. If they don't kill you, they steal the outboard motors and go and serve. Someone said, Nancy, IGP crack a crime CDK. Or see, in the press conference, or see, this particular group, their interest is Toyota pickup.
Yes, the Hilux.
Exactly. Because there's a buyer for that. To the extent of buyer outboard motors, it means that there's a need. Somebody has created a business to buy outboard motors and buy because they didn't kill them, they didn't shoot at them, they just picked the outboard motors and went away. So it could be a business between them and the pirates that has gone wrong, or these are pirates that have created a business for outboard motors and they think those areas have large numbers of fishing boats and they lay ambush on them and pick them away. Or it's an attack on us to see how we are going to react. And if we don't react effectively and properly, they will do it along the coast. Okay. Because our business of weed and cocaine between our fishing folks and these guys who come to the high sea and pick the business, is something that is going on and it has gone on for some time.
My last question now for you, my uncle. Based on the vast experience while accumulating with the passage of time, can you say there could also be some political intrusion? This is my question. There are some school of thought, like I said, share the gains of the current government led by President John Dramani Mahama. Now in a space of 1 year and 2 months, as things are beginning to take a shape, as he's enjoying some goodwill, as Ghana all of a sudden is being uplifted onto some particular global pedestal. Here recently, what's their name? Is it DIVEX? President Mahama is the 5th best president in the world near there. Is it possible to say naysayers, whether internationally acclaimed or internal element, but some of these things to put the government into bad light so the gains will be eroded in the minds of the people? Is it possible?
Next week, we will certificate to be bro. You see how you expect. The things I didn't want to say were the things you have said. When they want President Rawlings to leave power, they throw dead bodies in the street. I was one of the people assigned to go and find out who were the owners of these dead bodies, who their parents are, and where do they come from.
Wow.
The end result, we can't talk about it. Anytime NDC is in power, we have been telling them consistently, persistently. I have done it over 2 decades. The intelligence is there. It is left for national authorities to take a decision. When you know somebody is your enemy, you trust them, but you verify. And in our Kan language, when you are eating with your enemy, you watch the length of your spoon. Is that not it? When you don't do that, you are going to have problems. So, scenario now, plenty, it could be true, say, somebody is trying to create that image for us so that they will say, our country has been besieged by terrorists, both on the land and on the sea, so that it will take away that peculiar image So tomorrow he's going to Parliament for a State of the Nation address. Those who have ears, let them hear. I'm in my village worshiping my ancestral God. So God bless you.
Please extend our greetings to ancestral gods.
I'll tell them.
I love this man. Thank you so much. He comes with so much insight. But security, he's a colossus. Charlie, this man, fantastic man. Richard Commodore and the security consultant. Break reda. Me kwansa me twintwa me nan bia fe nkomana de so beka break bra na ko break abusua no on the enim no nkomana de no se beko break won't ko break an answer. Diana Bakawaha, Patrick Emingachawaha, Sanso, Anna Julie, Belindo Brinswa, David Agbanyaganso, Adjoining. We'll have a one-on-one chat with a member of parliament. We'll also do a panel as well. Medin didn't know to the Akusteo.
Hey, say the Mako who Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic no. Me who crave me. Say enunti no manya award wa. Eya world best. Obia transe Emma Dompem ya de. Ka say anase me boya de enkan to dem bio.
Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. Esa nyarwan te se. Ne ekuro etu no. Ne enkan ewana num. Oba na be mo pa wo. Ene enyarwan kaye.
Na nsia ma me ka say ene spinal cord ho ekaye no. Greenfield adoromenti ene wasa so le gina na so ebiem.
Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. Our ultramodern laboratory and a diagnostic machine, sir. I should show the Pediani Mwankasa. Greenfield Scientific Herbal Clinic. Our Nungwa Dogon, Estate Junction, last stop. Frewa 0243 983 906 and 0261 651 898.
Greenfield.
God is our healer.
Greenfield.
Your last stop.
I believe.
Ghana so by track kokro. Nanso, ne man penny ya ba kope. One big Ghana, only one president. A son say, Baku for San Sun Yankupon any katenti. Wo, enjoy Ghana memo, any wuye die and share MPs, any politicians, the sir. Kasa utri ho, yo, Ghana yensum, uhunu bribia, kebribi. Meet you.
Mafu pa, minki munka hodo nom, amama beye service kwa bat, yampa ba, yebusu tiyo.
Maya die. Maya get some paba. Ghana yensum. Aha, na Ghana kasa. Yes sir.
Oya, timanga, oya bakuruna.
Kagum.
Kagum.
Ghana Yensum, let's hold leaders accountable.
Ghana Yensum with Chief Jerry Forson, CJ, 5:30 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday. Our Accra 100.5 FM, Tadi 99.1. Any stations in Kayeni now.
Ghana Yensum, Sofa Namen Sofa, Accra 100.5 FM, and Demufua.
Junior Mengro, my brother, no one in Nadia or Joe Bagrosan. Nadia, when you mean the Samoa, or what personality natural health care so I hear. And I didn't just say you. Peske, I won't 70 or 10 so Cassie more boo, who prostrate I can say, I'm on your drone some woman who say yes, stroke. Diabetes, hepatitis B, pressure, 60 yard dear, a future chroma money, and no more yard the whole was. Oh, won't fit ye pa. Afe, oba, opesa o hips, anasa o to eya kesie, ye wojuma. Se stretch marks, ajo wedi no aboswa, ye free ho, berima obe mesha, opesa ye pejamono. Bra, best care ewo enkran, La Paz, Nyamiche Junction, Grand Prince School no echiwa. Kumasi, Bantima, G Runabout, your medlab echiwo, baby any, a se human rabank womunwa. Se huyo so empumum, ye Church of Pentecost, any dish animu. Takwa, Roman Stores, yene Zenith Bank, edi hwanimu. Sunyane, yawo Rex, yene Total Filling Station, no, ene di hwanimu. Ena Takra de Anaje, ye Ben, Queens of Peace Academy, yene Goy Filling Station, edi hwanimu. Frepeske, ewo 055-773-8555. Peske, quality hair.
Accra 100.5 citizens so yes am adofo akwaba ya baba din komo but yenti wen free on mutew kwame yanya dwumai yenko makola sa MPP agenda no it will not wash mama Ghana for who say trankonwa bunu so a we are going to dispel the untruth of the MPP and try na won twa no it will not wash sa fragadam no ye mane nkoso because in 2016, ahead of that elections, and Trobe Brain MPP try, unfortunately, na yemubi instead say anka ye best sorry na ye ni intonesiano ye no boko. Then woman trono dinkunim ama NDC lose the 2016 elections. SBO etwam and na om de si ye betwa om twa trono ne ye mama Ghana for no kreno. Because it doesn't make sense to me, say. Makola for, ye mamenum, ye papa no mo makola. Ah, ye dowom. Sebi mpanyifo anim. Kwa me kwa achemo mfo amoto eye V power. Ono onto super, oto V power. Omompo yate petrol ni so amom. Na nke ma me makola for. Ana sebi President Mahama anwom.
Oh no, o can make an source.
Da bi kwa me minim ya betimi aka. Da bi minim so hia ka.
No na nye no. Se o kasa ma make I say dey. Mamichia combat.
Edmond Combat. Lawyer Edmond Combat. I promise you.
Ose. Oh no,
okay, sorry.
Michiano.
Michiano.
Sina, oh you brutal. Sina. Hey, Sina, you have no idea. Hey,
yeah, man.
No, I think say he was in level 300 when I entered level. Oh, any and
he became SRC president.
Yes.
I was there that time.
Senior. Oh, okay. No, what level say?
I think no, I'm senior 1.
Yeah. Okay, then
yeah.
Senior.
Who ram here, baby?
2012.
Oh, Dabi. Maybe ram 2010.
2010. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, me man ko.
Dabi. So who back is all technical school.
Senior. Oh, who even know?
Edmond
Combat.
Your
mind for day.
Your mind for
yes.
Okay. What's the combat counter me use? I dare give you.
Oh, okay.
Because for Isaac, University Association.
See, I wish one of these days.
Yes.
Over pass it through now. Now what share thought because without the concern, so just say
yes.
My bora to ha no nim say
send your bora brand ya be hon. Bora to.
Senior bora to na senior.
Bonfire.
Nyama koso ho.
Nyama koso.
Am me workers na didi nkomo say.
Kwa me kwa check no no kra.
Nyama koso.
Bonfire.
Unu say senior.
Hey, what for paper? You know what wrong?
Na say what ni metuma me dada. Senior ejuma be da. One time. Senior ejuma combat airborne.
So.
Nteje mo wa say wetimi ama to. I come to see all the unions they won't know. They are happy.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, a cabia, what a beer, ya didn't be out. What's your name now? Omo resign, ya mom call retirement. No, you say, what's your retirement for me now?
I can't so near Chair Alhaji Mustafa, the deputy. No,
yes.
But when the time of an accident, one of President Mahama Suman,
of course,
yes. You can't, you're more Alhaji Mustafa
Basina, combat. Because from a family workers need to come on.
Now, okay,
send away with me.
That's a production.
Of course, also mommy. Now no two. Also mommy say me kwa na cover the say. Now me just say workers. Yes.
Professional journalist.
You are small no. See now workers no in that day.
Now no me proud no say. Onu say when he sees professional journalists, I will combat.
Yes.
Oh, come on, find show some more.
No. No, listen.
Kwame say.
No. I don't know. Some man who. Yes. See now, obo ejuma brutal. Baby obia no. Me na no tu.
Yeah.
Ye chiano. O ka fu or asem na America. Combat.
But no, it's not.
But manifa we fin twenwe.
And hear me.
Manifa we say me can no na me chia boss.
Okay.
So just say. Wa mia bema.
Okay.
Me chia no boss.
Okay.
So just say.
Okay.
But dabe no bema yako hoso akohwehwe de bi anyama ekoso so ti ase because ejuma me no ye no
but ya say but undercover no say me dey sue stress so what ya say nti say payday no
na
ye hwese ni bit
say ye be call boss
yes ye be call boss
yeah say ma chia ne
na bi o na what say enkomo yesi Kwame wonu aye wakotutu anoma ho abi bi say me mo no ma di ana sinya me boa
what's the war mia
banga wa o say
wa utetwemutu
aye
nti war mia
the guy is doing so well
fantastic
ne papa tiase no so ne papa Kofi Awuno
yeah of course
he was a fantastic ne papa crack na mission poetry
yeah
okay, Professor Awuno.
Yeah.
Kind of yaw. I think Kenya more disaster.
Yeah, kind of yaw. We don't fan check. At Ejuma pa or yentina.
Ejuma ne papa ye no. Ope Ghana mo ani nim nyansa pa ne papa ya ba.
And I think so
I'm not surprised.
I think that's now what transfers and nyansa. And what to boss time bibi ekoso come on. In the scene Makola sem.
Makola sem. Ni entia me pese ye ka ho asem. I'm sure you have videos. No they say. O say ya toto wom stores no. Anye aban ane toto. O say stores
market management no.
Market management no. What you say ana toto stores no ebo no. Ana Makola market for no eye demonstration etia saade no. And the MPP folk of by free person which they say as a Mahama na akodo. The demonstration is rather against the government, which is not true. Which is not true. Yes, central the stores na government stores. Okay. It will I'll say Yesika Ashio. We say ya bremo. We say why yearly increment is killing our business. We say we can't pay gate fees into our own then. We say we can't pay 10%. Market women no demonstration. But only stores. That's on prices. It does not against the store owners. Eti be ba obi a wotie bia enya no kre say Makola market women demonstration eti aban enya no kre almost store owners na to store
management no e
management man omo say obo so eti omo ye hu demonstration so kwami see ya bo we yeah. Okay, so that's the live on Accra 505.
But Ochinano, you be the State of the Nation address.
The State of the Nation.
Yeah, covered in Nama. Yeah. But Ochinano, the gender minister.
The gender minister.
Yechiano.
Namumulati.
Yeah, Namumulati.
Unim say ya mami odikan.
Yes.
Mrs. Dr. Adina Mahama. Ono ye first mother. Tabraba Ubiano Mano.
Sina mamembo Malodi no unim say nkahene.
Okosrano. Say accident. Gamanche say the first lady, the first gentleman. Omo make sure say ni accident mu no. Omo ne din komo. Enti ono so akosrano ni ade. Omo ye nipa o.
We oyesi na we Sarumia we friend say we Samira etia na we
twa. Me can say Samira say anka every Saturday onko use the washing machine no. No one see near Mama Lodina Mahama. No, Mr. Mammy, Miss Bessie, first lady.
Yes,
not Mammy can say, maybe the media no AC hospitals, been found top points.
Yeah, and you make up a second. Because you only make up no when
Samira, so back was the hospital. Maternity block, that be what about Gucci bag.
But this is a minister or Munama convert back. Make up a woman.
Yeah.
Now revenue president.
Ejuma man Lodina airport no. And that is a one thing.
That be Lodina Mahama.
Now only na ohwe.
Come on.
Idina na.
Ya ma me preocupe no. Only a first mother.
Yes. Say and 26. And 26. Ye chairman Lodi.
Ose.
Ye chairman.
Ma Lodi and 26. Now one for 26 dan kan na.
No, say ochna ye.
State of the Nation. Okay.
You say about fact you come out.
It's man on the 8 year chair you did to them no. Yeah papa State of the Nation in here. And yeah professional journalist. Yeah professional journalist.
But senior. Namomo. Yechiano.
Yeah mama.
Before we came, see that you say called National Deputy Communications. But journalist kesiye bi susu eso called deputy na.
Obi ankomra. If it's a journalist, no, but
journalist can see before now. Me, every day say only na komoso.
Kwame me ba.
No, eye Karumo.
Kwame.
Where dey?
Dabi.
Eye true journalist for you.
Kwame. We are the PRO.
Me nye the PRO.
Journalist ben.
Ni dino. HWM.
Kwame unim. And the member grown na
yes.
That's me near Isoko. Ana unko.
David on count.
Roger Neko.
Roger Koifa.
Brother na bo bisu di o.
Me boss Samia. Samia and Julius Anthony.
Julius Anthony.
Julius Anthony, yeah, Julius Anthony.
Minimum no.
Yeah, unim. It is say no. Oba. But mayor appeal the ama NDC national executive say deputy communication omo do so too much.
Say
they're simple. They for one journalist and party. Journalist name there nipa 3 and I contested. Baku di dindi Otudako. Baku su dindi Karim. Baku no ni dindi H-Wom.
What is my
what you say? Ono so ba. No, say Ogusu ye consultation. Oh no. So Monday or declare. David, no. Monday or declare.
Two enemies of man.
So indecision. So see that. A journalist for a con miensa. Ana Samaya ne mo patented simple. I don't know Ubo Roger Dinsa.
Oh. Nasa materials a mini or
Umber constituency being good.
Mini or
But me is consensus. Intina me but winning the winning.
One thing about
winning
communications, then they say, and I'm happy saying you can say, and you're no money back to the floor. You see, it's not just about being an occupant of the position.
Yes, now we should be
and it's also not about
Malik
standard or master.
You understand? So you must come to the table with some clouds and experience.
Yeah.
What I say? We don't need any about timidity, any about no, massa.
Roger dem wa asem ho ba to de enye ke
Kwame also the Roger ba asem ho say
obia won asem obia
Roger
ba de no
Anthony
me can't say
it's about the competence.
Nasina between Roger and Nano Tudago who is more competent.
Question for the gods.
No. That one the delegate in the BDSA. I'm a campaign manager for Tudago. And here on this platform we don't mention Roger here.
You yourself have mentioned names.
But
you are also a campaign manager. You are promoting people. No.
I'm also promoting it. You can't promote when you're man. Me say for national, no, you only interest lawyer Bass no with it. Yes,
because lawyer Bass is substantive.
Yes,
Obia wo.
Sina yesi we suko Kojo Dankwa. Mwazo ombo Kojo Dankwa. Kojo ko. Ongonye na onye release. Ye nim se okọ.
Okay.
Okọ for deputy communication.
I've not
Kojo Dankwa
I've heard I can't.
Bass no dey.
But make sure say Kojo Dankwa
deputy say Akugan. I'm not matter for the substantive.
Yeah.
Abbas Nuruddin.
But Kojo Dankwa so ko.
I don't know about Kojo.
Kojo ko.
Kojo Dankwa kra do come friend say masa ma abra penny.
Kojo Dankwa ko. Emo say onim say Kojo Dankwa ko. Okay, but me can for fact actually say Kojo Dankwa is good.
But it will be beautiful.
Yeah.
It will be beautiful.
So between Kojo Dankwa and Roger. So that between Kojo Dankwa and Roger, one are support.
A beautiful contest. I've told you say
between Roger and Kojo Dankwa.
I've told you say
Kojo Dankwa.
No.
You work and Kojo
Dankwa.
You are making a statement that are verifiable.
Me
so if I don't know
delegate so you mean
no
so you mean we check Kojo Dankwa
no the person has not disclosed to me say me ko be
and I make sure so
why do you make a decision
so assume you say
no we are not here to discuss
so that is we check Kojo Dankwa e fair do see na so
we are not here to discuss
Kojo Aban say obe check Kojo Dankwa akofa Roger court
you discuss conjectures
in the first place Kojo nka say woko
Kojo ko
and only any awu
Peter dey mean say Peter Mensah so onko contested position.
But what you say a conjecture to him now because if you only back on in country.
But me chen Kojo ko.
Oh that's it. You know me say we know a friendly contest.
Yes.
Obi Amra. At the end of the day, no, whoever emerges as winner, you're being a deputy is one family. And I seen yes sir. Let's come and show. But how
one journalist
was set standard.
Sina
bro.
Bibia or phone kasa.
Okay. Nti ode mami chat for I think say the first time I'm back Accra FMD. Na mami fa enchirazo konkoma in the national communication officer about some fee na nisan so nchia me Ashanti region na me sanso chia our Ashanti Regional Communication Director Abbas Nuruddin oye CEO of Social Investment Fund. Na engineer nim say obe contest for the National Communication Officer. I think say nano pay am sorry the overseer newspaper review page number 2 that was a Abbas Nuruddin emerge as the possible contender for the National Communication Officer. Nti engineer nim say in medjuma Abbas abo wasante memu Otima Boama UTDB BTSMA Hussein Ibrahim any other squad and so any opportunity everywhere the national communication team no which means say one the path of the Asamidian fee to be who say the delegate to about the man as a national communication officer. In fact the communication department and other communication structure no so be there e be go so afan to my pefra na me fa enchaso ko enkoma ye chairman Anakosi the Ashanti regional NDC chairman chairman Anakosi a declared intention say obe contest him as Ashanti NDC regional communication officer na oba Ashanti memu anu a obi a betimi attest to the fact say chairman Anakosi obi a oba ye no wetima NDC party no in Ashanti regional man a particular brand bi a say party na ya kono to the extent say oba Ashanti memu anu every single day bi a yenya followers nyuma wodi any yewura ye regional minister Dr. Frank Amakohene ayi name so meji as the best performing regional minister enyuma omobo Ashanti memu sisi ama Ashanti ma NDC ya kono ama sisi ano MPP for crap no omo yem sanso sisi omo entini chairman Anakosi so obekọ biem as an Ashanti NDC chairman entino yesre delegate ono obi a obre no ho asedada chairman Anakosi say o the political career o lose election da nyuma pa we oje in 2024 ntine me itibi nya 700,000 votes 35% a edin sida entino yesterday delegate say chairman Anakosi be so akobiem na yen hwe so na maintain chairman Anakosi na msanso nchia ye incoming Ashanti Regional Communication Officer Mahmoud Kabori wo ye the spokesperson to the Minister of Finance and
Mahmoud
yes oko communication yes ono kampo de nyina endorse na crapo nyina endorse because
I think he's the only competitor now.
na you say Obian ni no how na bet me unity Obian to me unity
Mahmoud so
yes Obian to unity no Mahmoud Kabori there Mahmoud Kabori there Obian to me unity because nyina endorse na 100% lawyer Bass and man so say we and e dey oyi obi obetimo succeed me because of ahobrase or brain wase esum lawyer Bass our sum NDC so na ye dean of communications in Ashanti region inuma pa wo bo ntia ma ye nyina Mahmoud Kabori numa pa wo bo ntia ma ye nyina ye support no ye mu bi ono na so ya sene NDC ye wura mu enkran yetimi di ye wura mu ama sesi NDC no say NDC no sesi embabu party obo homode kakra obetima abo e de wura NDC party nti no I think say ono so ebeko delegates nyina nim say Mahmoud Kabori de nyina ya je atum say ono the best asidi lawyer Bass
okay but meji minian's initial commentary but largely you better assess the performance of the NDC government ahead of the Nyame Adumo China 2026 State of the Nation address areas you hold my betima cover like Galamsey fights Mahama Care in the area of health Feed Ghana in the area of agri energy senior Ometimia keep it light and any home until that is one major area I think say you bet me actually near the home come then other ones say who sector in the economy you bet me this and common but of course nearby for friends you bet me aka any animal you call rescue Ali Omar Sedu NDC communications team member and Martinica Minya Kojo Abam national communications team member NDC. I heard him say Haruna Mohammed, Deputy Director of Communications, Pilgrims Affairs, Office of Ghana, and so Becca Yensa. Minya Kojo.
Minya Tudako. We minchia na minchia producers. Na yembo mabaso for Ejumasuna Mudima online. Again, baby, president will be ano. Ewie mitiano. Na nipa ba kwen say missing out. Na ya bona bas ni tiano. IGP. In fact, otu overshare recently the way crime na there koso and the kind of arrest why tin senu bi wa ahafo. Yati bi Kumasi, yati bi wo Nkwanta, yati bi Accra here yati ya. and even the cost schools now there and the kind of arrest they are costing now what you perpetrators no and you know what you say papa no this speaks to his track record so no a bell operations there any crime there that is his strength and you know maybe papa no one and a bia no metiano now look once na wayama police phone ni agipa urban before urban na issues about promotion. Now some of them were due for promotion for over 10 years by him promoting them. MPP time they were doing favoritism. Now the anger and the kind of despondency in the police service now it was quite worrying. Papa no or the measures at Akwemu when making sure say all those who deserve to be promoted have been promoted. And the baby will be no discipline or the police administration no yabana baso. Now me see topics no. Another thing. Otu. Performance of the government
against Ochina.
Against Ochina. Now Ochina the secretary under her.
Okay.
My members of parliament, my secretary, I'm say where we were. Him fanny na ya wo. And I him fanny ni yejina. Where are we now? Then where we are going? And then no, the formula and the methodology has already been defined. Obviously, the contours has already been what delineated. Now, vis-a-vis the performance of the government. Where were we? In terms of economic performance, and as a Ghana economy, it is something I describe say it was an economy under comatose under President Akufo-Addo. The economy was in comatose. It was an economy in ICU. It was a collapsed economy. It was an economy in shambles. Now, all these adjectives, we are backed by what? Statistical data. Yes, I see the health of the economy. One of the indicators, inflation. For inflation at 50%. Almost the quarter 2022, almost go do 54%. Almost feels now 23.8%. Now, inflation here, the rate at which and the money then a cost through. Because of prudent economic management, not to force the President Mahama and the entire government, inflation is 3.8%. Now, can almost say a Namana cost say inflation just a Namana cost, but the rate, since cost has been stabilized. 2023-2024. Sata moko drum so koto a tuber of yama. Ukwa anopa, that's a tuber of yam in 50 Ghana cedis. Ubakwa you na 60 cedis and 70 cedis. This is not the situation now. Gallon ya for 4 gallon. Sata no oye no sa gallon no. Na ekoye kodu 1,200 which is 12 million Ghana cedis. And then you can say it's a little under what? 500 Ghana cedis. Food inflation ekoye kodu 63%. So you can imagine that. You imagine and here any ateti and Ghana for them ekomu. Ukomu kro mama say na economy na ye munyu. Fancy form to the bibi onye. So that is where we were in terms of the inflationary what figures. Again, CD on the first CD na ya 3 CDs 50 pesos. Dr. Bao President go for the country and say in fact, Ghana high economists, and we are see agreeing now, Dr. Baumetimu. And they are not there a banner issues about Sika, and they say you're about to do a Sika, or no, say you're on Bonama. And okay, for from Bank of Ghana, or best say Ghana Sika, some idea, I'm money. Yedi Akonja man, Rabnyaka Chess was set up one of the solid economic management team. Professor Jambafo, Senior Minister Wasaf Mafo, Alan Chairman saying, what a solid team. Solid team, no more kono, no 17 cedis to the dollar. Now the so-called economic messiah has run away from discussions around the economy. I said we can't digitization. Nyama no the buyer, crowd so not the buyer. So that is the economy and the Sikasam Bibian petrol. Or could do 17 cedis a liter. In fact, a gallon was 72 cedis. So now we share. Never to tap on some manufacturing in Fidijuma. 2024 exit. Now the growth was 0.5%. In the first year, no, you grown by 6.3%. So agree, growing by negative 1.5%. Negative, but in our first year of administration, you're grown by 5.7%. And so, say, I see a share be this is where we were. Now, a man at the top of some corruption body young cohort because we share the AC war national service. Or by Bessie to me set up company. Now the ghost names are the Jessica Juchi dia. Now yes, the film. Uko National Signals Bureau. The same episode. AC war. Any SML, NMA, and the Canofurata or didn't work in Ray. So, baby and the Yejinano. Now and yet. Now we are virtually what in ICU. Okay, I say do baby, I'm pensioners haircuts. Domestic debt exchange program. So, omo matter government bonds. Omo musikada bank. Abanse, you want ya mismanage economy to the extent say. Sanko for musika mo say the mom you to be fair mom. Beginning the president go for the catch and say there will be no haircut. But every chena yantro. I'm a bimu femu we. They be one example I make here. Kama Industries papa. Papa wa born brow. I see every baby not 1,000 cedis to buy his medication. No, nya. Meanwhile, no, we seek our bank or investment or bank. So, we should see more day. Any the kind of mismanagement by me, the good for the bar, yeah. Now, yes, so this is where we were. Now, in terms of Galamsey, look, you have a hand on Mushembra, LI2462. President, I'm running to my president Kufadu to me to grant money licenses, permits to MPP for said they should enter into our forest reserve and mine. It was unprecedented said by Pedimit Shamra, or the two national in some say, or not to me money permit for people to enter into our forest reserves. Okay? Out of 278 forest reserves now, almost 44 forest reserves. In fact, 9 of them are no-go area. Now, I buy security people. I'm to be enter. For the first time under President Kufuor, you be near presidential forest. I want to yade yema MP before the lands is not because of mukambani. People battery catch here. Say party nyesika. And we heard these things on tape.
Ekwa we see.
What's a party nyesika? And so I need John Boy do call. Minister office or more mutum na go to Galamsey, and they were granted the what permission to go and mine. We promised a reset na then a departure from impunity, a departure from criminality, a departure from societal what wrongs. And so the promises say in terms of the fight against Galamsey, yeah they be by a friend good board. Good board and the mandate is to come and streamline the sector. Now, we share in the short existence of good board now. Ejuma, yeah, in your boss, communicators in your boss. Semi Jenfia, lawyer Semi Jenfia bar. Otudaku, and you mean the matter haka. The evidence is there for everybody to what to see. I would make streamline the sector. Now we shall support what the man 9 months. And 9 months, see why yes, SFS clock on the John party near Jessica Yajauno. And they achieve all the equipment that would will be destroyed. And you'll be taken to what? To court. This is what we promise the people of Ghana. And see, for me, so none of the clear. Yeah, the Yamana to talk with him. Yeah, but look, Madam we see no. Yeah, be policy rate. Now, policy rate was 30%. And then you can say policy rate is 15%. The policy rate, you know, when it says it has a relationship with what? Lending rate. The policy rate is cost now. Lending rate is automatically cost. The lending rate could do 36%. Set Memnico Bank, Akajibusia. Set Memni and Crown Cracker Bank, Akajibusia, they are telling this shape. Now, what 40 men forward, Memuno. Now, okaje bosia na nsimu ne 36%. Itwi yesi eye twabre what? Etwa minimum. And so how can you access even loans to expand your business? Let alone what employ more Ghanaians. And so na bibia say don't you bibia ya kwane de clear. You introduce a number of social intervention policies. For the first time, free education for persons living with disability.
Okay, now this
I am president. Tertiary. And so young man say one form of disability or the other. And then almost school for one and free. Yes, some of the atom bottom. This is the social interventions I am promising here to cushion the people of Ghana. And so too, many man know these are some of the things yet me here to help the people.
Very well. Could you kasa ma NDC? Now me person can take it brief from you. Otherwise, me person can be honorable so yeah, not more than 20 minutes. Now, some go back to Parliament. So, if you have a brief commentary on the matter, but I think say me my brief commentary, I'll be say because you need more time to expatiate. So, if you indulge me, and let's engage him briefly for like 20 minutes on the same matter. Honorable Yemuakwaba. Bacho Mpumbo Kodie. The rest. Honorable Alfred Ni Koteashi in the Betrinkumo, Member of Parliament, Odurudio, one of the most popular constituencies.
Kwame Nkrumah's constituency.
Yes, that's why Kwame Nkrumah was a member of Parliament. That's true. And the Honorable Neilante. A powerful constituency. Odurudio. We MPO how a champion. Honorable Yemuakwaba. Now constituency is saying.
Boko free Parliament share constituency.
Yes.
Now can me call back to Parliament. Say, no, Monya invited me there.
It's over.
I said me to me.
That's right. That's right.
And Opaya na yen Imam Bakun was Zongo Lane. Very long serving Imam. Chief Imam for Zongo Lane. He passed away this morning. And now said me to me call. Yeah, fan call the cemetery. And call Sieno. And so call back to Zungoli and call Yem Boka. Now, son of my free maybe in Tia constancy dear. They say me were Parliament, but and say me near moon term and every moment be a basic be an imagine a hobby because that's what makes you an MP for the people.
Yeah. Not Monday grassroots the same. I mean, people say. Time na yedi anobe pebesi ajibukutu no na no montami ntiti apa post ni buy no emu akakra but of course we understand say sisi anu positions asesa nti na mutimi enya course be 10 a day and 100 so you cannot pick all course near there but all the same we can't also forget that they are the same people we will need in the coming elections. Relationship with grassroots to saying say na yedi omo she baby I am interested in that part send an email call do.
Yeah, well, I try say make be touch base with them just to keep the relationship because of course omo no be say wohini and yes wohini you na want to man ya omo adwuma ne waranka sa ojejeje and then yes ade so me bomodi an said yes say me nye ma omo no especially the youth no most of them employable because omo need the requisite skills now. Bema Oma ye employable. I've been trying. Say me equip you with those necessary skills, you know.
Great.
Mumu be am pesa mu sia bibi regarding fashion designing. Many omo come omo ko sia mu pesa mu sia all kinds of handy skills development, you know. Make sure say I push them. Make a this first week of March me be rolling out another one a year training of how to handle these heavy duty equipment from cranes to how do you forklifts and what have you. So ebe training omwa will be willing to. Now mo kosia so you are na ya pay juma e dey under the YEA program number 2 me anya over 300 of the youth in the constituency.
300.
Yeah, over 300. I employ into the various you know, a bit more fire service assistant, be a police assistant, be a prison service, be a national ambulance service, and what have you. And me bombardier say me pia, in that regard. Also, about 2 weeks ago, my 19 industrial area, I could pay you mama, you to know. Echo from one industry to another. Nyamia Dominia about 120 slots for 120. The youth.
That's great.
From last week, my setting up a desk or AMA office hall. Now be on Concord the ding. We got about 80 people. You know, Marco, I train second badge. You know,
fantastic.
Most of them come on my 120. And right here, me ba my studio hanu. Other section, Madam Biba ho.
Okay.
Na also tie mi kasa no na ma me nya ni tie say industry ba kun bia e wo mi constituency how I universal how do you call it universal cosmetics.
Okay.
Yeah, and also see what team masema you need the pint and also in man about 100 young people.
Are you serious?
Yes.
100.
Yes, 100. And fiti no anajo and I start to say we have announced the way their constituency how need so be full card your baby. That is what you do as a member of parliament. You come for opportunities for your people. Me bomodian scholarships to go to schools.
I think that one of the common days you be shut up pedacro. Okay. I think I see a shada rangy honorable. Na eno if you come on kwani bidi.
No problem.
Constituency. And you so far how far now achievement he yakeka ho asem and maybe yakwa enu kra be fa to ye ho so na Ghana fo ehunu say NDC MPs no mo te senkrofo na aka no mo gbadwuma na bibia I find na mame from attention free on na yemra state of the nation yakopon yadomo a Mr. President Ebahon. How are you welcoming my president?
With a lot of glamour, with joy, with a lot of excitement, and so watching that they painted the whole of Parliament white because Papa Natural say or the Ghana for the year.
Okay.
Because promises all my Ghana for you need to answer no be power no na o man no share tension, economic tension e wo ho no man no ye think say u sorry free pam kra na wakometu because baby a u be fa wanya bibia de kra na ye how na okita ska wo botom a upia into me ntohwe because of inflation. Worst of all was food inflation. So want to me ntohwe mpo a aduane obedi so aye say aye ka and so papa buy national inflation acquire below 6%. Just down 3 point down kwa na eko
3.8.
You understand? Down kwa na eko. Enti obi baby say magic bang na papa e na MPP 40 so for 8 years. Omo ho ano. Of course papa wa be ye in fact me hu dia meka. Na JM dia nyame no di na maye. Na ya money kwan amana be the president this time anka ye benu ye ho because never had it been in this country say you will be so broke as a country just say wankasa ube waste or money sika ni sam or manankasa sika na san to the extent say omo invest o musika udi unsaka musika adi o musika na ma omo hia musika kra o see haircut into omo what do you musika what di omo so omo investment
omo nyomodo mpe kuna nkombere
just say it was so embarrassing say we were so broke we had to go to the to seek
no grab me omo de to forgo
syndicated loan kwa omo pamu ye na menua uya adwuma keto bi na o si wo koji microfinance for mo loan po na ye hwe ukratem na si ukratem nyenti entumi ma loan how much for a whole country what mismanaged country needs hard to the extent say kwa mono ni akoji lo ye hwe say ukratem ye ko e maska e bin si da except and Akufo-Addo en Bawumia nti menua se nyame
okay
nti papa yi the gains are nyame adom what to me achieve no oba edin shisha betu ho ama ya consolidate gains no se si a ye bra Ato Forcing finance minister honorable enra oba introduce policy bi wo parliament sa policy no the edi be any say we want to make sure say we are increasing an import cover no to 15 months. You understand? Say the Beya will have a lot of reserves. I bet to me a shocky you know, I shock, I hold the external shocks, you know, so that be any volatility be no enka or mine. And this is what you do. Say, oh, see that. Why a very good foundation. What static structure no. Edu baby no. Now what flow no. To make sure say, yeah, why you was saying ejina ni nine so ye before over to us. Because when you are doing all these gains, you are achieving all these gains. Now one institute measures are a gains to be consolidated. A better me retarded. But His Excellency is so wise. Your mama is so wise. Say, or see, baby, I do no, you consolidate no. Say, bear any external shock be a baby and can now your development are so steadily. We are open there. And your beer or be ye bibi, ediabe, she say, eye service. No man will say, oh, not or yeah because of votes. They say, ne be to slogans go now in the end and constitution. But this man is actually doing so well. I mean, sure, yeah, on sure, to force in so my.
So, honorable, you're still winning time with you, but before I become, maybe see a narrow your conversation into about 3 areas, and these are not all of them, but in few circumstances where promises you made whilst in opposition, whilst you're in opposition. The fight against illegal mining. Now, 1 year on, Mr. President, Eba Parliament. How would you say is your success story?
Thank you.
When it comes to the fight against Galamsey.
You mean me that say. First of all, when you say Galamsey, a kono, a kumbi a muyedin. We knew it, and we said we'll fight it. You set it up now. Juma fantastically. Forest reserves anchor ancestor be a mining woman. Remu. Over to say a presidential forest. Remu, just a government official to say being alleged. Some will go on year mining and so on and so forth. Yabomodian say are clamping down on all of those. Say the measures we have to go through DVLA to make sure say Chamfine will say whatever excavator be Audi Babiano. We will register it straight at the port. And to say Udi ko shebe bi eko ye jumana eko chia. We know the owner. Then we can get that person and deal with that person. So Uma Kwaina Udi excavator ko mo bi se onfanko. You will be the one to be held responsible. It has been a major step towards clamping down some of these things. Say we are targeting omo financing, you know, because who chi omo warfare so they are just flies be omo ni nam keke, but omo watch omo di sika they are the ones you are targeting, and that is the only way to me as succeed in this battle. Now Ubeshia, His Excellency issue a say no government official, no person in NDC or ye original or minor no ye bet you say or ye be anka mkrafo say ewele manwe ko nakamo ewele say chiu sa and the warankasa. The law will deal with it. We have done it before. Yankasa ye wa banmu a yankasa ye the enkrofo were alleged to have fallen foul of the law. Any of my court say they should be dealt with. Until we NDC ni galamse their own name not the uncle Remo. We will not spare you. And that will be the test. Emma Obi Biara Wetri said they should be deterred because they bet to me up on the when we are found fouler. And the war Wetri need the anchor. Was MDND. I think say we have taken measures, sir. Say Siakrano, Lands Minister and in Crawford take steps, sir. A bet detoxify in Sona almost no. And this is the way to go. Now, one thing about MPP and DC, I mean, say, our boy more. You better to money, yeah, fine. MPP 4 bar, no, always say no. Yeah, bar, yeah, but ball money who buy. Say government in Sasil, say in Ghana and so. Say, oh, buy how many gallons of water? How the back they were nothing. But they were harder than no. Be say no. That is the hallmark of MPP. But yet, the Nyamiadum, they are taking very good steps. We know, say, we've not achieved what we want, though, but we are seeing progress. And I'm assuring you, say, before His Excellency, by 24 years, the brown waters will start becoming clearer and be turning white. We are going to make sure, say, we'll treat them now. Ama in so wayedin, the no, because the Uber treating so crown, the amount of money you will invest in treatment of water, no, masa, and yeah, easy. enti ya na bed no abeda yeso omo ba na omo ba ya de omo pe mesre menua panyi ani ifa wakwanya yeso so dia social media for nyina se omo ma omo spotlight enko assembly so
okay
na sa asem yi yen fan to baby a eda now one challenge I've always had me say NDC need to studio MPP need to studio NDC no be candidate MPP no so be candidate dia owa abontina or tiemu no na fi de why confused because NPP be can dia best you no NDC so be can dia e best you or no so ni agenda no but what is the truth or where lies the truth and for me that is where the media hosts and so on come to play. Then the host should be able to say look what can we but we know that this is the fact.
Yes. So
because muna muye the fourth state of the realm, the political realm.
That is one pattern of journalism I'm MFI.
Good.
Because we all follow me journalism part in here who say even when I was hosting morning show for CTV. Me neutral, me bida. But me say me truthful.
That's right.
Because you can hide behind the carpet of neutrality. Ma, you don't want your image to be dented. And you know, where can we? But no way, say you want to play. No. Journalists must be truthful to move this country.
Exactly.
And you know, consistently, I have maintained, and that is how come we've been dispelling a lot of lies from the. Now for journalists, we open up. Say Ghana for them to NDC. And can't tell who.
Yeah.
And can't tell who. But by Piana Ghana Econ.
Yes.
Say journalists, ne teacher, for ne lawyers, ne. Yenaya together. Say yem pamwa by that. They were sending us into an unrecoverable debt.
And that doesn't make you say who supporting NDC. You are being nationalistic.
No.
You are being nationalistic.
Even if
I like that.
Even if I'm supporting, am I better than you?
Maybe
they won't tell you to figure out. Any case,
Radani ya beka say enye susua yenka say enye.
Honorable, mo catch in opposition say Mama Cocoa farmers for any aje.
Ampa.
Satam na mo je tere wine. Mo buy most mom 25. En crofo keka o. Me na kosa bo aje bunu na munguram. Ana mo ye ho ayi ni aje.
Ana mo nyina dani cocoa farmers.
Ya that Greek sector. Say na wetimi aka say hono mo so no mo dibem. Na ya ba two sector ni ewie.
I think say the agri sector we need to make sure first of all say enuania young farmers no air producing no enko ye waste and be ye glut. Now we need to make sure say we create market because farmers create the enabling market for them, and that is why especially for cereals and the grains and what have you Yama buffer stock we've equipped them financially enough to be able to mop up the excesses of farmers, omo ye no say jom for be tomu de kwa de be ka wechire no say omo be bokanti na ya ma buffer stock akoto e de akosto ama oman no say be ya when times become difficult in terms of eduania then they'll be bringing it into the system na enya shortage be and also to me shock absorbs the food market to make sure say obi abetimi anya eduani affordably. Because Johnny short is na prices that economy of scale that prices no core. So but we are managing it to that extent. Now farmers need here. While Beshe say time na ye ma almost asika no. Now the world price of cocoa no eda baby. Sisi ani nyina asisa. Now when you do the math, Uba said yeah ya can say be mom even though about a little lower than there na ya can say near nanka ye ma na. Who share statistics and answer mathematics now, they're even better off because whatever they are affording, we are affording them today. Whatever they will use it to afford and also to purchase and now to buy purchase. They can make more, with their IMA as compared to their nanka because you have to insist on share the IMA but it is against something, which is the world market price for cocoa. Nobody should say world market price according and son
if you were in opposition, would you have advanced same argument?
Okay.
If MPP was in power and MPP promised, say Bianyamojinisa, we will give you a higher.
Good.
And MPP came and they gave them lower. Would you have vouched for the same position?
Okay. Say
honestly.
Say yes, honestly. Say cocoa world market price 10 cedis. Na me tiauka 16 cedis. I ain't no benya was 6 cedis and I'm
That's right.
Very well. Say cocoa world market price about 4 cedis, right? Na me mau 15 cedis. And I say me mau 12 cedis. What's the difference? Almost 8 cedis. So be say, dear me, even though I reduce no, dear me no is relatively more than what you were gaining. Because you see, you are getting 12 cedis on something that you were getting 8 cedis for. Well, so when you do the statistics and mathematics now, I say they are better off. And yet, Sikano, ya boss say 12 cedis no. And I said, sorry, yes, about 12 cedis no. But the says 12 cedis, it is against what? Yes, some mathematics now be home. But me ejuma na under MPP. In faso eba 5 cedis. Now under NDC in faso eba 12 cedis. How can you tell me say which one is better? So honestly, this is the calculation I will do. If I realize say dear minya as in faso no is more now than then, there is no way make me can say sad any. Oh, and that is the utmost truth of it.
Wait a minute,
yes.
Okay, I think so. And we are
because right now they are getting more than what MPP
90%. MPP just gave them 28%.
Yeah.
Because of the price, no. MPP more 28%. Yeah, more 90%. Those are the calculation.
Then tell me,
CD equivalent market price. Yeah, calculation is NDC more 90%.
What you are giving them is more.
90%.
Farmers, they know the prices.
They are well informed.
So to be honest,
they are well informed.
Farmers no na they don't know. MPP phone they don't know. And no more shisha bi mo achi.
They were demanding for their 200 Ghana cedis.
Because cocoa price at Marco $12,000 per ton.
I'll come back to you. Honorable Afeni Kuti Ashi, member of Parliament. Do you need to come out? You are also a Hanamwa. Utimu say almost supported from there. But some Baba Park no Samomra. Namunia one am to Toba. Minia no. You know, Honorable any some common quickly. Honorable area of health. Adia Bakwa, I hear problem across all successive regimes. Okay, NDC, ye boom dia. Ye NDC in change because when it comes to facility infrastructure, you guys A+.
Thank you.
But beds, and I'm busy ye home come things like Mahama Care. I mean, President Mahama, send your man. Me person make credit in the BM because I said, he will do it.
Yeah.
The best make credit in the BM. Me pachwa, sir, no bed syndrome. They crack anything. But that would be because I said bed ni ho. Okay, no make me training in them. You go hospital, you see bed ni ho. In fact, Amasama and you didn't about 37 say bed ni ho.
The same presence na we fair
he's dying. And then they call Jesse bed ni ho. You didn't call UGM's bed ni ho. And then they call Kulebu.
I'm shocked.
Honorable, you didn't call Kulebu no say bed ni ho na me far phone. Na me friend senior doctor. Me far phone friend. 10 seconds in your bed.
Wow. So bed no more the year protocol na.
So
there's no be reserved bed in
there. Senior, yes, even though more reserved. And of course I say bed no so said I know so. Honestly.
Yes, but I'm the be
now
when they say condition is critical to the snow back when we were. No, I mean, is the bed more valuable than the life?
So
there are several reasons. There are several reasons resulted to that. And I think so we need to look at them dispassionately in real terms.
Okay.
First of all, the population grower. Nipa, some of these services, we also need to increase access. What you say? Population keep growing. Na uti abamu na one see hospitals. Ebi as nipa 10 ene koha. Ene wuma. You are giving birth, children are coming in, families are growing and what have you. So the number of people are under the pressure but to that facility just like consumption of electricity, consumption of water and all of that. Once the population increases, you need to also increase your production so that the people will have access to it. Now, for God knows how long we didn't see any hospital being built. Under the end, like you said, we will do these things. To the extent having COVID, your friend say COVID by specialist hospital. Yeah, this treaty COVID 1 is here. UGMC 1 is here. The bank hospital, any day count. We always make sure say we do these things. But almost better so 8 years. I see a best hospital last hour. They see agenda 111. How? And to say these problems now you're facing are all spillovers. Yeah, by in 2025 last year budget no. Yeah, the sika ashem say all the new regions now we have 6 new regions in here without any regional hospitals. Yeah, sika yeah they cause regional hospitals all those regions no. So that will expand access. Now, Ubesha baby to say a large general hospital, for example. No for nothing, SC Hosa. And yeah, near dear, Uncle Yatoma private person. You're forcing your back. As I speak to you, your massacre last year, saying to me, Franco, see, yes. You know, and that is how you rule a country, that's how you lead a country. Ubahun Kofono and Omo here, dear. Now, Yama Omo. But then before I saw Mudo Muba, to 2 slogans be a go on almost share Tisika. Now, Kasa, I say free SHS. So, tip how craft free SHS, BB how craft free, BB free SHS. In the end, free SHS became a wicked policy. Yes. Oh, it became a wicked problem. Why a wicked problem? Public administrators will tell you, say, a wicked problem is a problem in an attempt to solve, no, you end up creating more problems. And that is what they left us. I net Ubako school 2 months and I bet enough 4 months. Me say me ba this my experience be me ba ko SHS 1. I'm go school 2 months I bet bet enough almost 4 months. My pay private teacher. Now chena. Extra cost. Me Nibia. Many them. So that is how come a lot of people are suffering education, the quality, no, about from cultural exam. It was a spill over from the bad policy. And in your hospitals, no. Then your beds, no, it's because population is increasing. And we need to create space, build more hospitals or health facilities. We make sure say a bed reaching out to every community. A baby chips compound the clinical, so that we get all these things that conform to me assessing. But say one, yes, sir, definitely this traffic no will happen. Sometimes the other part of it is where I find very worrying. If it is, I'm not saying, but if it is that Ibimu are deliberately frustrating the system, but I say also dear, because a bed will hot, none pay no because a bed in you. And then obi befa phone afre na actually na bed one ya biama. And the dia na wo ho no. I think na one farm man who are you reserving if at the old train say yari be chi obi. Now no dey enfa no betu sa bed ni so ana.
But honorable.
I know be betu cancer.
Genuinely. Ebi also a bed ni ho.
Oh yes, honestly. That is what I'm saying. There are some cases change. You know, whatever the facility they need to create more. The hospitals also there it's a building. Okay. And you be able to me and so definitely you have to build more. You have to expand. You have to increase. And that is what, like I said, anytime we are in power, we see ourselves doing. When it comes to schools, from basic schools all the way to university. ANDC. When it comes to hospitals, ANDC.
Mijao Mwako, until you heard the last part, energy, briefly, under 2 minutes.
Tell me.
So far, how far? And then you share him and answer other expectations from the president, Ochina Sona. Then I'm waiting to say mobile, waiting in the area of energy.
So for every economy to shoot skyrocketing, like I said earlier, you need a very solid foundation in terms of your macroeconomic indications, and as indicators, how you want to call it. All the indications are signaling positive. Say, well, you have to me manage economy no iye. You have to me making sure say sika same aye agina ni nice so ye through gold board ye to me am ye foreign exchange transactions na aye positive to me anya enough dollars in our system now ama cedi no aye stronger because a dollar no ni ho and a weak cedi no because it becomes expensive. But I hear this major policy, and trust me, this gold board, is the game changer. Gold board is the game changer. MPP before can some move they go for oil.
Good for oil, good for
But we want to see a policy a year Juma. But so your policy be not rather no not really whatever who gains now. Then where are you going?
Good for oil,
so we are going to tell the story. Establishes the achievements of His Excellency John Mahama in all the sectors. As I speak to you now, share ITC in the area of information and communication technology. Menya Sam George is also doing wonderfully well in that regard. This coding program now, I've set up a place in my constituency. They be establishing, they be training my people in coding, in programming, all this in artificial intelligence and what have you. And this is the way to go. You see, you develop your country and prepare your youth towards that future. And these are the things that we are doing.
Just this opportunity, if you could mention just two ABA and Yema so say here critical attention your constituency. Sempen you foot here. It just say a beboa do ya. But where the end of so now you secret.
First one, if I remember 3.
Very well.
First one, a year in so acute water shortage need there. A big problem, Emma, the whole of this country. So so bani papa. But because treatment because of galamsey, they are saying so it makes it difficult to treat more water per gallons and then push it towards consumption. And I know there's a problem. You're saying penny for now or more share. It also me I'm forcing for my youth now because that is the only way we can build the capacity of our base. The micro economy is strong. Not just BBR or BB kakra woni or call to me to BBD to me the bit to atari share or to me koba and also ma poverty reduce. Emma kromuye yenyina ye de na bibi wo embotom no. Then finally me was school back be your friend no Accra Simple School. Media 2 penyifo anim it was hanging because under MPP in fact now Okovandapor when he was a mayor no started here with one of these international organizations MPP for buy your name said now buy agency no be full so munya biom and no call because scam with the shemu no disika no basa and no call and for 8 years I almost was no block back say and to me and fancy school ni so and na ya bay nkrofo no muso and say me bomodi and say me to me ayomo wo GDA say me to my dear Teresa Emma 2 days ago yeah to me I approve get fund formula because me they got to get fund and him say almost so mommy my base on question the floor of the house speaker Afre minister for education ama ono so abeyi anu ama odi ama get fund so mo hwe no mo be school ni mami my dear chi omo ma mereche mo say once I be approve my formula ni pe we be able to do it until 2 days ago yeah to me approve formula until this coming week no mo penny for na she me bo say membra na ye ntan sin hwe kwan a e be to me aye Simple School ni ye ma ya ye mfaso e ma o man ni nyina nti me say ahoden bia e be to me dia hye m to me Simple School no omo to me ye ma ye na ye nkrofom so enya baby papa bi enko school because that is the next generation is to educate is education is to educate the young people. Once they are able to get a modern facility to me they are seeing adiano it will also motivate them enough to aspire towards higher learning.
Very well. Honorable, I wish we could go on and on. Unfortunately, 2 things are possible now. That you must go back to Parliament, and that time is also not a friend. It's a more appropriate time. Now, yeah, do so constituency. It was like an hour and 30 minutes near Timenya, better conversation. But we're still happy that you came around. Thank you
so much.
That's a but you share your true BBA. Chair speakers.
Chair speaker say Osi Uchi.
Fantastic speaker. Honorable Alfred Nti as a member of parliament. Who do Yemrefi na me busuafo. Yenchinyam.
Nana.
I'm saying
but obeyende.
We have
obeyende.
Kwaju say you more hebio. Okay, so then we have like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, 23. No. What was saying? 27. Oh, they'll be able 27.
23.
Yeah,
37.
Okay, so just a quick one. Moment we need to have been free. And yes, answer there. You be pong by 55. Now me there you
Okay.
Okay, so then let's do a brief of it. And now me shall say Chiska. And conform to the *8 5*5# me patrol u follow prompt no ubedi *850*5# review scratch for win otina de me shase pa review scratch for win *850*5# na from 5 cities to 2000 stake here u follow options now ubedi yan come say hard builders say omatete o mesase no so benye bo dawa benye bi enso ewo ningo chopoli Shah Hills, which will be Misrau 30,000 about 25,000 and 35,000 about 30,000. Jinambe Nakopebi, a litigation free land gas bieniso, a fantastic land by the electricity in swinging also 0241665200. Say make cow say Senate for say BBA at all. They can say SIC say BBA at all. The SIC same country say sell run a factory. And now say you are into marine, and now say be running some cars, motors. Maybe to me see in the market. It jet me by it's what me for being there. You need to have insurance package for yourself, even if it is personal. In the SIC is a main camphor amount. A patrol come shops beer and offices beer. Ubeti me and new weddings also be about 2074. So and so because a year juma papa say I did be even HIV patient cry issue help sickle cell anemia patient chronic cough what a treated typhoid fever kidney infections hepatitis B asthma and yakeka jenambe na kokopebi misrawo even heart related diseases correct me echo 0246073498 0246073498 ma yenkodi nkomo we are making senate as a match about post near drone no igusu ho number 1 immune booster draw come up our herbal shops ni other pharmacies abenya bi eno ne de kun yadowa many pa kwa ni gina brane Mr. Okopebi na boost your immune system jinamba na kotu no do super 0246208496 0246208496 president wa ha Samson Senate wa ha any other announcement yes sorry so if you don't want to say atro minia
no too I think say minu akasa me breeder for economy no na we dey mean go deep into the economy. Let's start from the Galamsey.
Okay,
because then say that oman bia ya na ejina oman ni sikasem na me adom if we say ba ba mu no it's matter to economy ni ya masisia no all sector of the country is indeed working very well. Now the Galamsey na on say the moment abeti Galamsey pe because MPP wa bemu for the past 8 years unyati Galamsey pe na eye national crisis and I say national threat na one of the critical issue NDC general so the campaign and make sure say contribute to significant amounts of voters in fact voter in 2024 election. You see me mean say if we say about mean say Galamsey the tima boama yeah completely ye Galamsey na free ho banyame adum and now no ka say Galamsey need to stabilize it. On the first na Galamsey course so beti say Galamsey na dey apart from na ni nyina ye dey aseda so nko emma the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources you honorable Amakofuboa the modern bar you see any in fact or born home
one of the best ministers
yes because Galamsey did na issue as so more wo chire sika no do wo chire in fact campaigns no mo chire one of the issue ana din say obet ma fight but now no case one say before mutim ga galamsey one say galamsey net ma dey it must stabilize you see ye ba ye on say ye hwe galamsey na just recently Mahmoud Kabori call in fact Elembele constituency there is a Subi friend Amanzuri yes in 2024 good in 2024 so we hwe nsuo nani pa in 2024 na nsuo no crowd chokomilo kwesi wa because nanti yes nese that same nsuo in 2025 nsuo no na ye cleaner even compared to what because nsuo and paraphrasing the two galamsey wa anu see na me adum ba say hwe the clarity of the water nese hwe the turbidity level na perform ama see galamsey ni some of the water bodies no nsuo na ni titi on say ba ye no so the make no emra MPP for pass here because of sikeni bre your forest reserve ye wura osadu Dr. Kwame Nkrumah etwitwa to o ma Ghana for no say no for that be na be here because of sikeni bre ntino omukọ in fact okọ this forest I think say this extension of the compartment bi ana omutu yama to the sense even puno timemufo na omu okọ mpo mumfo kra na etu galamsey wo no ye ba ye this forest reserve it me target me no kan red zone no go area as a woko no ma yidi tuo ni sika na bedi wachi enam no ba ye say enam no ke this forest it ma the forest ni be say forest density friends Asinayo Afayo hills ena friends of forest your friends yes it's a forest so ma so agi ena anwiaso forest bi san so kan ho you see all this forest in the it ma the forest ni nyina e kire say enduma Ghana for you promise Ghana for say be ye on say so 9 months and before say ye ba yi ya te 9 months ni operation Gala stop operation Vanguard difference be the womb so always make say the main difference between the 9 months the operation Gala stop and then the MP operation Vanguard they say 9 months has been consistent and effective nana when me say constituency make me feel on mo me feel buso me from constituency na areas ni bo on ma omuya galamsey hwe ye me dum kredi me time na mo constituency on mo no MPP time say namos for no eba omutimi ba e man say the whole month no ba operation ba ko omoye operation na no mo san so ko enche bia na galamsey for san so akwa gu site no mo to galamsey na mo edimpo na aye west ben na me no ka say operation Vanguard for operation events and namos for ekọ na so mo ko operation na your blue water gas omo no ma yes omo hwe akiri yes so san so babaka omo ba inform me the 9 months no ama masan so babaka baba be dey aba intino we abani di sisi egukọ ma in fact I kire say you are indeed galamsey fighting we miss serious business
a group
yes
bribe oba
yes
no match with the stop one of these come kire say we on kokra board kro fa nyina
o ka say etin na most every before say na yeti blue water gas every before say no president ga regardless of going to me na blue water gas for the meeting but no munim the strategy na abani put in place in the fight against galamsey you see ento omo no say that informant omo na mkromu na mutieti information and because of any ye share blue water gas no committee engagement share this cooperative mining you just say omo nya starting cry e say that effective but motimi akoko this galamsey areas no makasa am say cooperative mining na nkasa no and fufuo ni bi account committee no meti no draft from mineral commission ka ho and fufuo ni bi ka ho in fact penifo ka ho a say wo hin no betena se ama galamsey for asa wasase a ejina wa wo so because e be be na say they don't have power on their own land. You say the mineral right is vested in the hands of the president. Ebedu baby no na do dan kwa Akufo-Addo na pamfo no. Omutimi ba ebetu galamsey wa info ni bi nsase so a. Info ni eni tu ni bia omeka. Be ne nyame adom. Cooperative money yetimi engage info no. Me da me nka say galamsey ne ba ye no. Ye no yetimi ayedai. Eyi galamsey ne fro ba enam no ka say no. Galamsey ne abafo mo a Ghana fo say indeed boy ye show mo say ye be fight galamsey no. Yeah. I think say mesan so aba. I think say ye wo galamsey o na other we know. I think say health. No, say health sector no so. ye me nukure ni se ye hwe infrastructure there say the name say this is legit John Dramani Mahama the nation builder because infrastructure development no nya ni as a nation builder ye buy hospital ACC now one thing is say every worker say omo project omo abandi ye buy ye nto so say utie budget a in fact you ready ye na and I say just recently so utie government accountability series on Ministry of Health about era honorable Mita Kando as more kind say was it the agenda one MP before starting you know in fact o man to me we mu ba ko kra no ye ba complete 10 of them yeah free abem ye ja hospital so when we say after 38 military hospital na ye 38% what complete anka MPP abado mo saka yanka hospital no nka eye adwuma ya fa doctors ni nurses be call hospital and so na almost complete you see
we are
yes no man from Musanka but then one no promise Ghana for 111 was want to make mu ba kokra and now no kaso ba santima mu through your regional minister what ma bo more complete 3 of them e ba be start adwuma we just so capture ebi ewo ye friend say budget nim
Dr. Amwako him.
Yes, but in fact obo no more
doctor
one of the regional minister in fact or swag too
and you open obo no more as a former student leader.
Yes,
he did what me. I know him.
Yeah. Intelligence was very good.
So Dr. Marco Hene is a fantastic guy.
Yes.
My young channel baby. Actually, also Utien, we a presenter, newscaster, our husband. Kechre Bedu.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, Yamen Kredi, Juma, this is very John Dramani Mahama, and NDC here born. Ghana for you bit matter soon if I say, in fact, you're born. Now, you share interventions are yaboa. Our health sector. If any people workers here by need to be made social intervention. We say so they don't even know the definition of social intervention. You see, yes, one thing is a normal leader can say that one can hear more correct me. Just with a quoting someone or something it doesn't even exist in the Bible. Social intervention is solving a particular social problem. It's a very health sector. Then you say because the galamsey activity and people for subjecting the nation into chronic disease rampant. Yes. Say renal disease. What do we say? According to the Ministry of Health, they say omo program bia omo be training specialist nurses say food be say endocrinology. Ye be nya nurses omo hwe omo in fact in terms of metabolic disorder any in fact ya liability say diabetes ne sa no man you be nya nurses obetuma ahwe sa no man nyina no one so say ba oncology ne nurses so be specially in cancer omo so me hwa mo for mo go through cancer omo eno so be hwe sa nkofu nyina enti we na omo say intensive care nurses eno so on be ye na ba ko omo say nephrology omo renal disease kidney disease ne sa no man nyina no Ministry of Health the program be ba omo training go into that particular area. Never mama care na hwe budget no ya allocate 2.2 billion 2.2 billion e betimi da boa ni ma nim say Ghana nipa mako 19 efro mo kwa at 2.2 I think say azu betimi akọ hwe ya nipa mako 19 efro mo kwa due to this issue of this chronic especially this kidney disease Kulubi Teaching Hospital.
Yes, 4 million.
4 million Ghana cedis to buy reagents keke. Among fresh do omunkwa. But nyamia do Mama Care is 2.3 billion rather. Mama Care yetima locate scam so obi yetimi donate bi e yetimi support. We actually say adwini ye no no more chronic because tell we chronic disease this diabetes in this alomana. Now diseases are any cure. You just have to manage those diseases. What I say, nyamia do Mama Care ye di abama sa no mani nyina ebebo ama eso abafom ama eso na yasan so ba I think say the Feed Ghana yes hwe enkokon ketekete nyamia ni mukudi I think say mi hu Joy News company bi omo no omo agi nkokon ketekete na tuma omo timi process omo ye pilot process almost 50,000 beds Joy News mpa for the sake of it maybe I metimi da chero anu say even pono chere say enkwan ketekete no in fact it is indeed working omo pilot 50,000 beds in fact enya de ketwa na president no so anka say nkokon na be ya mu keko bechem ye kwa kwesi a friend say poultry processing industry nkokɔ no yɛtumi yɛ nkokɔ no sɛ nkokɔ no yɛ dɛ enyim du baabi bɛgye ɛde wɔn bɛkɔ ma ready market wɔn bɛtɔ a processing nkokɔ no ma yɛtumi bi akɔ amɔ no ne akɔtɔn wɛn nyinaa nhyehyɛ yɛ a yɛde ba ɛna hwɛ according to the ministry of agriculture nankasa no hwɛ sɛ this tomato issue yi kura mpo wɔn sɛ yɛsɛ yɛde farmer service center ɛbɛba yɛde machines ɛbɛba even mpo no sɛ kuani a bɛsɛ we will go into large small scale mining farming wobɛtumi nya access to this equipment bi abɛyɛ dɛ yes enti no nyame adom yɛyɛ baeɛ no ɛna wɔn sɛ 24 hours economy ɛsan so wɔ hɔ yɛsɛ grow 24 ɛno nso bɛtumi aboa mɛyɛ boosting food security ne ensure in fact sɛ performance in agricultural sector ebedu baby sɛ ɔyɛ agricultural sector Ghana wo bɛkyerɛ yɛ out to the extent sɛ in fact say I think the World Bank rank Ghana as the country with the highest food inflation among EPS in the middle income country. And baby in 2022 crampon the Kobo maize boosting 27,000 tons of maize from ECOWAS. And in Guasia, I'm a Ghana. And every company better than a car. And you Guasia when you know you buy Missy baby on Rukopoko Bonhomodi food inflation. In your food inflation 28% and a passenger did me say we would you to me say because me say be near warmer to the sense after there and no man can say no reality is a reality yes almost 300 cities yes and now the 60 cities 65 cities 70 cities we be that you see we be that yes I think say my me do energy sector no okay yeah energy no say nyina nim say yeah no dey be ameka say and the current MPP ka essential bar energy sector ni say so in terms of capacity energy capacity generation it's essentially the man mama survey kran sana MP for mobile bemo but because of reckless financial mismanagement into emma eka ebeda the energy sector ya buy almost 68 billion Ghana cedis the MPP for ejaye in the energy sector so e do baby pono even pono say him say this tariff increment no in some one yes IMF conditionality pay 70 according to the IMF country report pay 70 every quarterly there's going to be what I feel say tariff yes
I just I am busy DBB can say me sure say based on report at BMS enye IMF for
okay PR fuzo FIB
enye no so ye obebo me bat me pesi Ghana 40 as ye say MPP for Kwajiska no esa wo kire kwan abetua yes Ghana for bi wo ho no every quarter bia muntu o light muntu o musu muntu ya Ghana na wutemi a every quarter bia ya two sa na MPP for
yes and there's nothing you can do about it
sabe pepe endo na me
yes
ntwa ano or say quarter review doesn't mean say increase
what they akosi awa
what the phone you see bank say every month you may 10 cedis bank bank say wunya ya first can am
na make say because of NPP for equire this IMF conditionality into no abano so ba no say no ono so be say ya aba ebema timamu for that day enwan he omo to the sense even people say you increase that in cramp na having much impact on the Ghanaians now. Yes. Yes. Mami end was ade. You say you buy. You didn't say you go. Akoimu amaji say energy sector light. It me gina. On say sadi we cash for water mechanism. Yes. Na ensure say make sure say consumers no sika na yetua no. Ebe call into the right IPPS for
cash water.
Is it cash for something mechanism? Yes. In 2023 the MPP before they established that they were not able to make 100%. They were not able to make the payment. Making payments, yes. No more making less. But you buy and this making 100% payment. I make sure say there's cash flow in the energy sector. Emma sisi and Emma sisi ano. A sika some crampo ensure that anything. Yes, any essential buy. Another say. Once you go from lifeline, consumers. Almost consumer. I think say very low. I think say 30 kilowatts per hour. Yeah, 20. Money you buy. You tima maintain no mama say no. Money because of say consumption rate in was loading. Yeah, amount at least there's low tariff on them. It's this and share. Any about once the level you see they can no. Once no enka sa quarterly adjustment na nka ho sika de tofu de power a thermal plant na nka ho ye ba you took advantage of the ye hwe for na aba form economy na agina na so you took advantage de one city count who say one city you can book on fuel price na 10 city you people can win ya enu kwa na nge ebe sika 1.2 billion na ye hwe the revenue projection ne kwa na ntimi generate 1.2 billion no aban kwa South Africa da ba be count ye dey am no buy nyame adon enu so generate sika bi timi yetimi e power ye thermal plant e me yegina mkania e dey agina so you see say in fact abanu all the sector ye boy modern I think say ka menya small be 1 minute on this cocoa issue now.
Okay,
you see,
for 2 minutes.
Yes, okay, 2 minutes also. The about the cocoa issue now, in fact, cocoa price now increase na NDC entwa ekuafon tro ye ntwa mo ntro da ye hwe e be du ba bi no cocoa price ne be ehun be ye adin to the extent say international market kwa equal $12,000 per ton hwe na oya calculation na tin say emre emwaye time nke be calculation ama ekuafon ne hu say on say international market price na 12,000 and as at that time $12,000 no so se saba cd equivalent no company so hwa cd equivalent price now ekuafo no we just getting 3,100 and ameboa
yes
which is even after the calculation just 35%. Good just 35% and na ekuafo no dey enya but nyame adom ye hwe NDC aba abam ne so cocoa say market price no so aba from $4,000 we calculation what is say ye kra ye mo 90% afano 90% of FOB price abani just for just 10%. It mean yes le cocoa ekuafo on say buy no only say yes good it is also the reforms aba ye cocoa ye almost 50% be process e wo mamu am because of that this cocoa processing industry no crab sanso baba be gina ne na so am ya process ye the bill e ko parliament house see no say you took cocoa price no by friends international market in Kuala it is going to guarantee the farmer 70% of FOB price you pay na per day and they say free fertilizer free pesticide free machine free certain cocoa scholarship say e free the cocoa ekuafo enti no yes cocoa ekuafo yenda da omo then say maka boaje and we ukasa say they should explain it. The reason international market price now for can they explain? Don't me explain.
In America, so what you know? Only FOB price.
Yeah, only FOB price. It's only nam. Increasing our order the ekuafo. What I say?
So
I think so. Me you wait me I go into it.
Cocoa dey na me look. Say MPP ne ka trust shasra. Performer esa shasra. Because e bia na bibi wo ho a eden e be bo wutiri mu because omo ayo mo sa no makoko ne kone okọ nsu na tifi ko hu nsuo no wa ba na fo bi sa wan na hu nsuo we sympathize with the farmers because we need to take these measures to stabilize the sector, but where did the problem start from? Issues if because for the first time in 2023-2024, you engineer this syndicated loan. Because some man mismanaged the sector to the extent say
financial model was very poor.
Look, when say cocoa board capacity to release funds to execute contracts within a year, no, 430 million. This is the capacity of cocoa board within a year. But on my contract to the tune of 21 billion. So if cocoa board is to service that data, it may take a cocoa board 47 years to be able to service this debt. Yes, Osha, look, some of the clauses, I'm the ashamed say, Nimpani we contract no certificate now within 90 days. As a cocoa board here. Since that 21 billion, cocoa board kafawa. Now some of the rules now my crambu who be there rules no war.
Cocoa rules.
Cocoa rules.
Come correct.
But almost a contract to the tune of 21 billion.
Now cocoa rules in this grand starting.
Yes.
Google quite the tutu.
Look, again, this same issue no. Ye free to 2016. Now cocoa boss total equity. Now 1.8 billion.
1.8 billion.
Which means that sir, what cocoa board the jeopardy the assets were more than liability. But Pama MPP for 2024 and 2025 January. The Cocoa Board a negative equity of 3.8 billion. It's a Cocoa Board at the car. So this situation here, you inherit here. Look, Rover contract. Almost a contract to supply over 333,000
800 metric tons.
Metric tons of cocoa beans.
Most supply 500 per
Almost supply 500 per at a price of $2,600.
What's up, man?
Me say
almost a contract.
Almost a contract to supply over 800
metric tons of
yes, 800 metric tons. Almost supply him what?
500.
In thousands, so.
In thousands,
yes. 630,000.
Yes.
So they left over 333,000.
Yes.
How much man supply? And supply. Now the price, at a time almost a contract, now $2,600. In the following year, price no cost $10,000. But because of what's that contract,
lose revenue.
So what one ahead?
At what? That
so roll over contract.
Revenue losses ahead.
Almost $1 billion.
Over $1 billion. And so manage a sector to the extent.
Then come up a business and
yeah, try to solve it. You don't have the moral high ground to even pontificate to us. Say, Obi ye bibi enye.
Ekwafoni are well informed man asa
they are well informed. No many cocoa sector issues than MPP for no cry. Do SARS. In fact, I Stephen. One is more important do SARS to the extent say important you for 48 years. Then say.
But also expiry date.
That's what expiry date. But
we do more than 10 years ever say.
Look at the wickedness.
And because something say Ebuku Ghana had.
Yes.
Why?
What I say? But you irrevocable
what? Time no Jude factor.
Man, they do am say everyone say.
Me could have seen bia. So nkofo no de omo ye ka say omo mpe kokoo kwa fasema the MPP. Today fertilizer. When we say fertilizer, you don't cocoa class free. You free send mom free. On the time, no, much fertilizers. The mom use to organize.
No, more the name of say fertilizer and almost 20 actual not for sale.
Yes, I don't know. But we know that branch for camp. Not to Shimo. Yes.
Was not to Shimo the man.
Yes, we almost say branch for the man. So this is the kind of wickedness and the corruption I had. You face the cocoa sector. And they say taking measures to deal with the situation. So to me almost say when you be was and one corner, to me come on into me. So that is on the cocoa issue.
Okay. Now for 2 minutes we the other side.
Energy issues. Look, Otidaku. Me cramming same story be her Ghana web and the date Monday 12 January 2026. Or say government clears 1.47 billion US government clears $1.4 billion energy sector what debt within first year.
Oh, now even for cocoa crown is 32 billion. Yet me at so about 25 billion. Yes. Say 32 billion. Yeah. That's another that yet me. Yes, my year. And NDC there, yeah, indeed, problem solved.
Energy sector debt now. On 12 January 2026, government did $1.4 billion.
Oh, presence
of IPPs. Now, a kind of the IPPs, most IPPs independent power producers. They threaten say, almost supply with light in the Maganaphobia. Yeah. Secretary, can you tell me about the breakdown? Eh? Car Power Ship Ghana Limited.
Oh, me understand the dollars.
$120 million.
Send it.
So just imagine a can. Send power. Your mom 59 million. When you dollars. Twin Energy. Your mom $37 million. BXC Company Limited. Your mom 42 million. When you have a car, name people for Bogua, IPPs, name to me, to car. Ama about the energy sector, and to see and to check our winner, and the energy sector what will crash. Otunaku. This is the kind of situation here.
A very serious matter.
Yes, very serious issue. I face with any sector no. Now say medicine crown before I be face no. President Mahama the Esla by energy sector recovery was
for the legacy debt.
For the legacy debt. Say the car e wo no.
2023. It generated 33 billion from 2017 to 2023. 33 billion.
When also I before here. Almost 30 up be for a special purpose vehicle.
Almost diabetes car.
No diabetes getting like go boom. Diabetes getting like go boom no
my background uncle for no
seriously. Serious Nana.
It's almost a 30 be for special.
Because I dey me say ye na be ya de no. Omo bo no ma be say no. On say because they mean try no. On say yeah time na dum so on. Okay. Me this is the John the man who the real problem on the ground.
Yes, no say.
Now dum so wasn't na a year. You man say generational issue that o. President you better be experience dum so.
Yes, generational capacity.
Yes, ube ji say John Dramani Mama take up the challenges. So winning na omoba was sounds with the sika head to energy sector.
Or some excess capacity.
Excess capacity. Oh, and mumu buy mu be said the energy sector sika mu ntwia. Unu say ebedu we say omo da Ghana for say omo say COVID mo ma free water ni free nsu. Unu say emu onu na yes, and I promise also dey say friend say COVID-19 will cover levy no so buy. E ma unu say sika ni try indirectly.
Yes.
Unu say sika ni mpuna sa free water no ensuo na wunjumi ko na TV say abana provide so the amaga. Unu say sika nko mo ntwia. Akade no mo ntwia. E no kwa kan obi na ma ye de kwa IMF no utility tariff the first time in history 27% ebinsi da. Increase your Ghana for Chiromo.
It's serious.
As I was say, your friend say Ukraine, Russia, but Nana said that's all cost. Ghana is economy. Yes. Yes. Oh, then can impact.
Almost set up, sir.
No said they said.
Nobody can say what a G was said. This is what happened.
My men mpanyufo ase say yetunsa from omobai ye no mase Yakopon Chirom papa Pepsodent say ya use na no pa ene anwumre Pepsodent ye kama pa ti wonum ti esra nkwada ne mpanyin enyina muntungu so say Pepsodent ne adura ukọ market ana ukọ store bi mu say ukọ in fact the other brands ne kura your friend Pepsodent do say Pepsodent there a leading figure nti yen kan fuma na Momejibi ebebo ampa bua makaka enso dwane. Don't forget to do it 2 times a day, tonight and every day. Oye ne say betimi aboa wo enti ukwa no akwa pebi ato na wako wanim na snit say nkra de oma bemo omo services no is now closer to you omo yirom ho kwan bia so say mo betimi enyom Social Security and National Insurance Trust. My partner Ghana Commercial Bank, Eco Bank, and Fidelity Banks. Send a be position Senate ye. Na mwetimi enya omuno medi nkita. Si we na kwa say oko these banks yabubo dinya say GCB, say Eco Bank, say Fidelity. Omo desk wo hono mu a opese one obi a oye dwuma Senate nyankita hodi a ombekire na wako. Na renewal of pension certificate, registration of members and employers, update of personal records, processing of SNIT benefit, and education, social security, and retirement planning. Any general inquiries, oko no mua ombetimi anywhere sa and komono. Na oko GCB Bank, for instance, akosombo branch, ubenya mo ho. Since Ugakope branch on the account, Winneba branch on the account, Eco Bank and Sono, Tema Main, ubenya Ring Road Central, Accra, and Tamale branch, Fidelity Bank and so KGT Market, and also Omabademu. Kumase ubetimi enyom na onomedi nkom bacho ko ma chi kwan na pe udachi echiresi ba Senate we deliver on our promise ye ka mo so say Yakopon yadomo a eye memene de bayi eye yenua Smith na ye ne ye adwuma ade ato ye ni a ye kwako yie opanyifo se ne ade ato ne nyo no ye frɛ abusua ene dom so mo media class media group na yenko kra ya brechi kra memene day 28 February 2026 Kwashiman School Park ana bekoso 10 say 8 anopa 8 8 am we nso ana kwasi ada no nso e dia hyehyɛ so Mount Moriah Pentecostal Church Kwashima ho na be ye be kɔ nase na e de bibia aba na wieye enti Mr. Joshua Bruce Smith aka Bismarck Upper and Captain Smith na oye adwuma class media group onye ne ba bi kro no
but
the final
sina ye mfa wesu ntwom se ye nua lawyer Sami Jenfi ase on say Tuesday ebe 1 week no
say by na me intimate camp
yes
situation no
it say sina ye beko
of course but course way
yes I mean fat details
he says Sami the nyina Sami o
yes
Sami Jenfi is fantastic
omoyo Ashanti region
okay so we Mr. Andrews Kwame Amankwa says Benadai match bosu me dey toso miensa
that on the Tuesday
Fort Garrison Officers Mess Rich Park Denyame no
yes
anopa no nsia kosi anwumre no nsia papa yi enunyamfo pa o
nde yemebusia
ntina je lawyer asoni
lawyer aso
na seopo
na seopo
ne jire papa
edi na say we ye the flight beko aba so just ye beko no pa no na if you are nti ese parity say ye beko aba say so say by election third match in by election yes
elections
nti parity ye beko aba
ne aba by
ye the flight so say ye the flight beko na assign the aba nti
Mr. Andrews Kwame Amankwa with the email the year.